Mask, Mic, and Discord. There we go. Welcome, everyone. It is time for another beautiful day in the land of Ethyl, playing with our wonderful friends today. The day is episode 2 of Tales of Ethyl. Allow me to introduce some of our cast. All the way to the bottom left, we've got Silas. Would you like to introduce yourself again?
Hey, I'm Zephyr. I'm playing Silas, barbarian, orc, traumatized. Help me, please.
Next to him, we have Kazim. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Josh. I'm playing the Aarakocra cleric, now rogue, Kazim.
All right, and right next to him, we have a newcomer that she didn't manage to make it last week, but she's here this week, and we're gonna have a bunch of fun with that. It is Mistrix.
I'm a cat. I am beautiful. I'm also the human Dyer. So woo! Hi guys.
And last but not least, this hunk of a VTuber, it is Nico.
Hello. Nico's the lover, not a fighter.
You killed a man.
All right.
Self-defense.
I heard my wife's voice. Oh, hi, Katie. Hi, Sideways. Welcome in, everybody. Today is episode 2. Once again, I want to say thank you guys for coming to join us on this beautiful homebrew. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got some fun things in store. We're going to see how it goes. Before we get all started, though, I'd like to cheers to you guys for having some fun and coming to play with me. Katie, I know you're mean to me, but I love you. But cheers. Salute, guys. Tink.
Cheers.
To adventures in hell and all that shit. Fuck it.
You're right, Katie. We could be playing Pokemon, but I'm playing D&D.
Okay, well,
Oh, God.
I will officially say that vodka and milk isn't terrible.
It's not bad. It's just not good. It's one of those kinds of drinks that's like, it's okay. You're only here for Dyer? I know. I saw the nose pop up and I was finally episode 2. Well, I'm glad that you're excited for it, Sideways. It means we're doing something kind of right. So, before we get started, I do want to let you guys know some exciting news. I know that you guys already know, but perhaps people watching, we are on Spotify. I managed to get episode 1 up on Spotify. We're also on YouTube. After this, I will be trying to post episode 2 over on Spotify and on YouTube. Try and get it out there because we're having a lot of fun. This is a homebrew game. Obviously, I make a lot of this shit up on the fly, make a lot of this shit up as we go. It's turning into quite a fun story. And do you guys have anything you'd like to say before we get started?
Help.
Meow.
All right. Let us go back into our magical tale of land and mystery in the Tales of Ethyl. So, where we last left off is the party has made the grievous mistake of splitting up the party. They left Nico alone at the bar with Mistrix the Bard, sitting playing music, while Silas and Kazim venture off to the library to try and get some answers as to some weird happenings going on around the town of Rivers Run. There were kobolds and goblins and orcs, seeming to go into a weird craze with purple eyes, under some kind of spell, it appears to be, attacking those they love and cherish, and seem to drastically change in character from what they normally would be. Thinking that perhaps the orc mage knows more than he might let on, they go off to go and try and find some answers, as well as finding some other people that possibly may be involved, a man named Marcus and his friend Bon. Unfortunately, when they go there, they manage to find Marcus, but Bon appears to be missing. While on the other side, back at the water wheel, we find Nico being approached by this strange man he's never met before, named Bon, long, lengthy, white hair, and was asked if he could follow him, and unfortunately, due to a low roll, believed him and decided to follow. Right when they were about to cross over the river into the current district, Bon decides to turn around and attempts to cast a spell on Nico. It does fail, luckily enough. And that is where we've left off. So, where we are now, I would like for Nico, if you could go ahead and roll for initiative for me. That's where we're starting.
an 8 total.
Oh.
Cool.
Not a great
It's
start.
like it was fucking wobbling on an 18 and a fucking 5.
Okay, so got an 8 total, and then Bon. I'm not gonna tell you what he has, but he gets to go first. So, in this first move, he looks at you with a kind of smile upon his face, this big creepy smile on his face. Looks at you with a cocked eye, and he misty steps towards you very quickly, looking at your face, looking all over. Smile upon his face, and he looks down and sees a necklace on your neck. He holds his hand out to kind of look at it and says, well, this is interesting. What have you gotten yourself into? And that's what he's gonna do with his action.
So he's right up in my
He
face,
is
isn't
right there in your face.
he? Well, Nico's sometimes a bit of a pussy, but this time he will just look him straight in the eye and like you're a fucking deal. What's your problem? What do you fucking want from us?
So, is that what you're doing with your action? You're just asking him that question?
Yeah, he's asking a question
Okay.
like we have to fight necessarily.
Okay, so his purple eyes begin to flash, and I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Fuck me over there. 16 total.
16. So you managed to succeed. So you feel this weird presence inside of your mind beginning to reach in, and it doesn't feel like it did before. It feels like he's searching for something. He doesn't seem to be able to find what he's looking for. So what he does is he puts his finger to your forehead, and he puts this image of a house in your mind and says, bring the feathered friend here. And in this instance, right as he's about to disappear, Mistrix, a black tabaxi bard, comes around the corner, and you see that this weird lanky man is standing in front of the ASMR that you decided to follow as you were sitting inside of the bar. You aren't sure what's going on. You didn't see the whole crystal in his hand or anything, but it looks a little odd, and you just see him with a finger on Nico's forehead. And that's all you see. Do you do anything?
I mean, I'm gonna approach, of course, because I want to know what the fuck's why people touch. Stop it.
Okay. As you start approaching, you see that the purple eyes that were fixedly on Nico's face quickly dart over to you. A huge, unsettling smile comes across his face, and he throws something on the ground, and a huge cloud of smoke comes up. Nico, you have one chance to make any kind of action if you want to stop him from getting away.
All right. You know what? I'm just going to grab him and oh wait, actually, is this? Okay. You know what? Sure. Why not? I'm gonna cast Arms of Hadar. Why not?
Okay. Will you tell me what that does?
Invoke the power of Hadar, the Dark Hunger. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from you and batter all creatures within 10 feet of you. Each creature in that area must make a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw. Okay.
Yes, of 15.
And that is a 17.
It made it. In that case, he will make, not make, but he will take 9 halved necrotic.
Okay. So we're gonna go with 5. So okay, and that's all you can do?
Yeah. That's all I can do, sadly.
All right, so these tendrils start coming up from the ground to try and grab at this man's legs, and he looks down and he just kind of chuckles a little bit as one lashes across his leg, and it doesn't quite get him just right, and it manages to make a small little cut, but he seems to misty step away. And as the smoke starts to settle, you guys realize that he's gone, and you're not sure where he went. Nico, you are all you know is that you're supposed to go bring your feathered friend, whatever that means, to a house that's abandoned. It looks for somehow you know this house is in the current district. You know exactly where it is. You aren't sure how you got this information, but you know exactly where it's supposed to go for some reason, and he's gone.
Keep. Nico, he just like starts fucking like waving his arms, like the smoke just like getting like in his nostrils, like biting his eyes, and he just starts like looking around frantically. He's pretty sure this is exactly the dude he was supposed to look for.
Yeah,
And he let him go.
You are pretty positive this is the guy you were supposed to look for.
Yeah. So he just basically like flailing his arms and looking around like an idiot.
That was pretty clever. That was the one thing that could have messed up what was gonna happen. By the way, in case you're curious, you did the one thing I was hoping you wouldn't do, but he managed to save.
Yeah, I'm really fucking
So as you realize it disappears, you're kind of frantically freaking out. You're getting stressed in your mind. Where did he go? What happened? You knew you were supposed to catch him, but he managed to get away from you. You're looking around. You're on this bridge. And you see the scorch marks from your thunder wave that you did, and you look around and you see 3 guards coming back from around the corner because they were also following you, but they didn't get there quite quick enough. And you see emerging from the darkness a black tabaxi that you do remember you saw on the water wheel while you were sitting there, and Bond approached you.
Shit, please tell me any of you fucking saw that too. Like, please, tell me it's not just me who's fucking seeing things at this moment.
I saw a really pretty cloud.
Pretty cloud. Well,
I'm assuming since the other person is missing, the other person is who caused the cloud.
Yeah, pretty much so. At least I assume, because, well, they're gonna fucking. Oh no, I was supposed to watch him. I was supposed to fucking look for him. And I got him, and then he fucking got away. Oh, fuck.
I mean, did they say you had to keep said person, or did you just have to see said person?
Well, I mean, we did not really specify, I suppose. I mean, I could technically just go back, maybe. Haven't you before?
Yes, I play many kinds of music. I've been around a lot.
At the tavern, right?
Yes. The name's Trix, by the way.
Nico, I suppose. A bit of a weird circumstance to meet, I suppose.
Oh, well, I mean, I've
Are
already
you
met
sure you
you.
haven't seen where he went off to?
Poofy clouds say no.
I turn towards the guards. Any of you, maybe? Or, like...
No, unfortunately, we only caught the tail end. Yeah, we didn't see anything.
Yep.
We just saw a cloud, and then you just turned around. No, I don't know.
If I remember correctly, the dude, like, Bond, he entered the tavern with a couple guards, right?
So he entered the tavern by himself, and the 3 guards were
By
standing in
himself.
front because Kazim was smart enough to think ahead
Yeah.
and tell them to watch the water wheel in case anything weird happened. And that's the only reason that they followed you, is because they were a little confused as to why. Unfortunately, they're heavily armored, so they didn't get there quite fast enough to really see much. All they know is that you were following this dude, they come around the corner, and now you're standing there with smoke kind of going away, and it's just you.
Oh, well, I know kind of where the other guys went, but I don't necessarily know how to get there or how to actually find them, I suppose.
Yep, you just
back.
for some reason know of this house that he told you to go to. That's it.
It's you, little pricks.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a bit shaken right now. Do you mind just going back to the tavern with me? You know, some company maybe. I'm
Sounds like
supposed
a
to wait
great
for
plan.
some people. And I better not walk alone right now. You know,
So you guys are just
And,
gonna go back to the water wheel?
Uh, Actually, before he goes away, I
Mhm.
would like for Nico to just like look around, like generally like at the ground and like and just looking for any
Okay.
markings.
So you can go ahead and do a investigation check, please.
Well, that is a 17 total.
That's pretty good. So you do see the broken glass of a bottle, which you assume is what produced all that smoke to poof around you. And you do see that there is a little bit of blood. There is kind of actually a blood trail that is leading back into the current district because of that cut that he did get from your spell. So you do see a trail of blood that might lead you to where he is.
Oh, fuck. Like, Nico's mind is like, it is just like, do I stay? Do I go? Do I go back? What the fuck? He looks at the tabaxi. You know what? On the other hand, if oh no. Look, it might sound really weird. But would you like to follow me maybe? Somewhere? I just really need to check something real quick to make sure. Yeah. Would you like to go with me, maybe?
I mean, I can go with you, but I strongly recommend we at least tell one of these guards to tell your friends where we go.
You know what? That didn't even cross my mind for a fucking second. I'm look, sorry. It's like my heart is like about to burst out of my fucking chest. Feels like that's actually a great idea. We should do that.
I may be a cat, but I'm moderately intelligent.
Look, you can be the thinker for the both of us. And yeah, Nico will go to the guards and he'll tell them like in case not in case like he doesn't come back, but like in case the other people from the tavern, the other two that he was with before, were to show up and wonder where he went. He is currently searching for something important in the direction of, and he points because he doesn't know the directions.
Okay. So the guard goes, right, I know exactly who you're talking about. And he turns around and he starts giving little commands, and two of them kind of run off to go find Kazim, because he's the one that told him what to do, to go find him over at the flow, because they are aware that that's where he went. So off they run off, and I'm assuming you guys are going to go follow the blood trail?
I mean, he went after a pretty sketchy dude only after he told it, like, fuck, why not go into yet another fucked up situation? I mean,
Fuck it!
He's already fucked up
What's
once.
the worst that could happen?
Exactly!
Okay.
Let's fucking go.
So while you guys are going to do that, unless there's anything you'd like to do in this little instance that you want to add, I'm going to go head over to Silas and Kazim and see what they're up to. No?
I'm good.
All right.
Good.
So we go back over to the Flow, which is a beautiful library that's set into the bank district of Rivers Run. Inside there were hundreds of people running around looking at books, trying to find information that they were looking for on the Purple Eyes and what's going on. Kazim was speaking to the Archmage about possibly what he might have found, while Silas was talking to Marcus about and yelled out Bond looking for him, and unfortunately no results came up of that. So we're going to start with Kazim. How would you like to start?
So I'm, if I remember correctly, floating next to Archie, my good friend Archie.
Yep, he's on a balcony on the second floor, and you're just flying right in front of him.
I guess I kind of want to interrogate him and see if he knows, if he's learned anything about the Purple Eyes since I last had him and started investigating.
Okay. So he tells you obviously what he knew before about, oh, well, you see, there was the charlatans and then there was the power of remembrance. But what I have learned is it is a distinct, actually, I've got some new sounds again, and I've been wanting to do them. It appears to be a distinct trait of magic that is combined in the astral sea. It seems to only be able to be combined in the astral sea. And once they've figured it out and brought back here, it seems to be some sort of distortion. I'm not quite sure how it might happen, but it appears that when this enchantment is going upon other people, it seems to, because it's two magics that aren't supposed to mix up together in the first place, that for whatever reason, it leaves a distinct marker on their eyes. So it seems to be a weird cross of Detect Thoughts, which is a spell I assume you're quite familiar with, and then as well as the spell Charm Person. It's a little bit stronger. It seems to be a weird altered version where it seems to change their personality a little bit more, a little bit stronger, but not quite as strong as spells such as Dominate Person or something as that.
Okay. The Astral Sea. This is going to sound incredibly dumb that I'm even asking this, but is that a literal sea, or is that more of a metaphysical place?
So the Astral Sea appears to be a plane of existence that belongs between two different planes of existence. It seems to be this pocket dimension in which almost anything is possible, if that makes any sense to you. What appears to happen there is, if you can think it, it could happen, and things that some might see as unnatural or could be unnatural appears to be able to happen, and once it's figured out there, it seems to be able to be brought back into our plane of existence.
I want every book you can get me on the Astral Sea.
I will get right on that. So he kind of snaps his fingers, looks at the two scribes, and goes, every book that you have on the Astral Sea, please bring into the private room for our dear friend here, Kazim, can take a look at it. Right away. And they run off to go look at him. And while that is happening, we're going to go check on Silas, who's confronting Mr. Marcus.
So I slowly walked up to him. I take my glaive from behind and I sort of plant it down, almost kind of like hammering it into the ground. I'll stare him directly in the eyes.
You see him like kind of shaking as he's looking in his book, trying to do research. Obviously terrified of your fucking presence that you're there. Just horrified, and go, yes?
I'm going to ask you this once. Only once. And you're going to tell me the truth, if you know it. Where is Bon?
Roll for intimidation with advantage, please.
Yeah. With advantage, that's a 13.
So he sits there and he's shaking, he's looking over his books and goes, look, you have to understand, Bond's not himself. I don't know much. All I know is he went off to go find something in the current district. I don't know what he's doing. He is in and out all the time. Look, I just got here. He is the Archmage's assistant, okay? I just came in with the carnival. They offered me a good paying job. He's just been trying to help me out, and I don't know everything that he's been doing. I'm sorry. What do you want from me?
You worked with the House of Mirrors.
I worked for of course, I was one of the people that usually helps set it up. But as soon as I got the job with the flow, I stopped. I wasn't working on that. Bond was the one that was helping them set up while he was helping me get through training here.
You haven't seen a mirror with a pink crystal at the top cresting it, have you?
The one that Charles got in Port Salem? Yeah, I've seen that one before. And it was his big attraction. He was super proud of it. Why?
Have you looked into it?
And he kind of like looks down, a little like kind of bashful, and goes, I was too scared to. I've heard weird things that like it changes what you look like, but I don't want to know what I might look like in a different life. That I feel like I'm already ashamed enough of what's going on.
I'm going to tell you this, and I need you to spread the word throughout the flow, throughout the city, but keep it subtle. A rumor maybe. Hearsay. The
Yeah,
mirror.
absolutely. Anything you need.
The mirror has been stolen. We need to find it. It's linked with everything that's been happening with the uprisings. But, and this is the important bit, Marcus, never look into it.
Yeah, I'll let everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Anything you need. Anything you need. Absolutely. And you see him like freaking very vigorously writing down everything that you're saying to make sure he gets it absolutely correct. And yeah, he is 100% down for anything that you say. As you're working on this, you hear the front doors of the flow burst open, and you see one of the guards running in. Kazim, you recognize it as the guard that you told to go watch the water wheel, going, Kazim, Mr. Kazim, your friend, the ASMR, he went to go look at something in the current district.
I fly down immediately.
Okay, so he describes the situation as to just what he saw, and that he was told to go find you. And yeah, they told me that they need to let you know that they're gonna go search for something in the current district. I didn't get much information, but there was a man that I saw walk into the bar. He was really tall, white hair, lengthy, and he walked into the bar, went straight for your friend, and managed to get him to go follow him. I tried to chase after, but they were a little too quick for me. I didn't make it around in time, but I pop around and he was gone, and they told me to go find you. So I don't know, but that's as much as I could do. And he takes his leave and he goes off to go back on his patrol.
Okay.
Silas, you also hear the whole
Yeah.
freak. Yeah, do you go check it out, or do you just keep looking at Marcus?
Before I do, I'll look to Marcus. Bod never knew we were here. Don't trust anyone.
Okay.
And then
Yep.
I'll go over to Kazim.
Okay.
Silas,
Kazim.
we've got possibly a rescue mission on our hands. I'm going to talk to the Archmage before we go.
Okay.
Are you coming with me?
Can't exactly have my best detective die on me, can I? I've got your back.
Is the Archmage still on the balcony?
So he's actually heard the excitement coming from that guard, and he's actually started walking down towards you guys. What appears to be the problem?
Very quickly, as the Archmage is making their way down, I'm gonna whisper into Kazim's ear. Bodden was working for the Archmage. Directly.
That's exactly what I needed to hear. I'm gonna look to the Archmage, and can I look into his eyes?
Yep.
What do I see?
So he's got these kind of emerald, beautiful green eyes. He's got Elven. They're crystal clear. They're almost piercing, as if they can see right through you, but no purple in which you can see whatsoever. Yeah, I knew exactly what you're looking for. It was a good guess. It was good. It was a good idea.
Archie, my friend, can I have those books removed from that private room and moved into my personal study?
Absolutely, I'll have absolutely as far as as soon as I can. He brings over the scribes and tells them what you just said, and they start moving them all to your personal room. And he goes, and I assume with the excitement, you guys are going to be running off to go save your friend, as you seem want to do lately.
Yes.
Allow me to offer you guys these. I have been working quite studiously with some of my best enchanters, and he offers you these 3 beautifully bright blue stones, in which he offers out to you and goes, these stones, they're one-time use. If you throw them at someone or something in which you think might be enchanted, it might be dispelled, it will get rid of it and help clear out some of the enchantment, which you might might help clarify some things. So he offers you 3 stones of dispel magic.
Can I do a check on them to make sure they're actually dispel magic?
You can make an Arcana check if you'd like.
I would love to.
Please do.
The temptation to throw one at the Archmage right now.
That's a 10.
A 10. As far as you can tell, it seems like they genuinely are what he says they are to be. You have no reason to doubt that they are. They
Awesome.
seem like dispel magic.
I will throw them gleefully in my back pocket, knowing that I do not have any other way to dispel magic.
Cool.
Archie, what is security like in the library here?
Well, we tend to keep the god away from here, and we have some of my best scribes as they are more arcane inclined, if you wish, to help protect us, because sometimes some might say the broadsword is the best way to protect information. I find knowledge in the arcane is the best way.
Knowledge finds itself gleefully short at the tip of a spear.
I will not argue with that. You are absolutely correct.
I would like 6 men guarding 3 different private studies for myself and my comrades.
As you wish. And he brings over one more scribe and tells him to go get his men and go grab the guards from outside. Please, if you could, I need 6 guards, 2 per room, if you could. I need 3 separate private studies. Please set them up for the wonderful Kazim here, if you could. Just go set them up some private rooms where they are guarded and no one can touch the information that's inside. No one's in or out without the emblem of the flow. Very quickly, they're writing it down and off they run to go do exactly what you need them to do.
I need to make sure that nobody is standing guard at my own personal room as well.
Absolutely. Please make sure that no one goes near the esteemed room of Kazim, please. And one more scribe goes running up the stairs to go kind of get everyone away from your rooms and stuff, which you do know is locked and you do have a key for it. And you, as far as you know, you have the only key for it.
For sure. Silas, my friend, we should be off. I'm gonna hand him one of these stones of dispel magic as well.
Okay, so
I will take it. Yep, for sure.
As you guys start making your way over to the current district, we're gonna go right back to Nico. Nico, you guys are following the blood. You're walking down across the bridge, and as you're walking, you see that the blood still is. It's not necessarily heavy, but you're catching a spot here or there. If you guys can make, both of you, if you want, if you guys could please make one more investigation check for me.
Five.
5.
Oh yay, I got a whopping 10. Let's go.
So it gets a little blurry. It starts kind of muddling into the different footprints of there. You're kind of able to, because I'm looking here, yeah, Mistrix, with your passive investigation, you're kind of able to keep a kind of track of where it's going and leading you down into this weird, dark neighborhood. It seems a little dilapidated. Obviously, no one's lived there in a little while. You see some squatters kind of in the houses on the inside. The stones are starting to crumble on these houses. The cobblestone roads themselves are starting to crack, and there's weeds growing up. No one's really been in this area for quite some time. You see cobwebs all over all the different archways and stuff. And you do end up following it to this house. It's a 2-story house. It's seen better days. It's got some holes kind of busted through it and stuff like that. And if both of you guys could please make a perception check for me.
Natural 1.
Guys, what is wrong with us tonight?
Because
I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at the exotic creature next to me. It's okay.
Okay, so you guys kind of don't notice really much of anything other than the house seems to be a little dilapidated. There's the balcony up top seems, with you guys' passive perception, you kind of don't really see all that much. It just looks like another rundown house, but it seems that this blood streak seems to go on the inside. Nico, you do recognize this as the house that was in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And from what you can tell, it does go into the front door, but then there seems to be another trail that seems to go around the back.
Are there any like squatters near me? I want to know.
Wait, one more time?
Are there any squatters like around out in the street?
With your perception check, you can't really see anybody.
Can I find someone?
I will let you do one more perception check.
I'll roll a real dice like a real kid.
Real dice, like a real person.
All right. And 16. Woo.
So you look around, and as you see that there is, a couple goblins and stuff kind of hiding in an alleyway, kind of staring at you, a little untrusting of what's going on. You do see that there is a kobold kind of looking down, trying not to make eye contact with you. They seem a little nervous with other people that they might not be used to. There is a couple people around you that you can't see. Yes. There is 2 goblins that you see. There is 1 kobold, and then on the top balcony of another house, you see smoking a large pipe is a orc just kind of leaning back in a chair in this kind of rundown other house that you see.
Can I ask the orc if he has seen someone injured run through here?
So, the orc is I'd say he's about 50 years old. He's older. He's got his kind of long braided beard. He's sitting there with his really beaten up battle axe it's seen like at least a good decade of use and stuff. It's chipped, it's broken, sitting next to him, and he sits his pipe and, why should I tell you?
Because I am interested in the story of how they got so injured. You see, I'm a bard, and I'm always interested in combat stories.
I could tell you a story or two. Who cares of these delinquents? If you want, you can make a persuasion check.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. Another 16.
Now, as I think of it, he takes a long drag of his pipe and lets out the perfect O and goes, there was a scraggly man. He seems quite weak, running through the front door of the house in which your friend seems to be awkwardly staring at.
Yes, that one is quite awkward. Would perhaps you do me a favor?
Yes?
If you see a quaint bird person running through the streets looking for friends, could you tell them that we are going to find this straggler in this house?
And what, pray tell, young kitty cat, is in it for me?
Mayhaps a gold coin or two?
He kind of bows his head in agreement as he lifts up his pipe and letting you know, okay, as he continues to pipe on. You are confident that he will let them know, when the promise of gold is brought up.
Okay, well then I will pick him up 1 gold coin and I will tell him if I survive, he will get another coin.
He grabs that gold coin and bows his head and sits there patiently waiting for whatever you've just described to come appear up. And, yeah, so he's more than willing to help you guys out.
Okay, well then I will go back over to Nico and be like, I have secured someone to tell your friends where we are if you would like to investigate the house further.
Cool. So like, we're just gonna enter this house. That is,
Good old-fashioned
literally
beanie.
Trap. Cool. What could possibly go wrong, right? I mean, like, it's not like we could die or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to look around the house. Are there like any windows like at the air level? Any other like entrances?
So you can walk around the house a little bit easily enough. So what you do find walking a full perimeter over the house, you do see that there are some other, it seems to be that more of the unorthodox races seems for whatever reason to kind of collect in this area. You do see that there are some kobolds kind of hiding out in another house, worried, seeing an ASMR, they're not quite used to it, and seem rather taken back that there is a tabaxi walking around with you. But as you walk around the house, you see that there's maybe a window or two kind of busted out, and you kind of peer in. You don't really see all that much unless you want to make a perception check if you want.
Sure. This is
Okay.
hard, really.
I will go too.
13.
13, okay.
And 18.
18. So, unfortunately, Nico, you don't see all that much. It seems a little too dark. What you do see, Mistrix, is you look in, and you do see that there seems to be a door in the back that is open, and you do see steps that are kind of going in. There is a candle that has been lit, and you do see that blood trail on the floor kind of leading down to the stairs. It seems to be going downstairs. As you kind of keep walking along through the house, or around the house, you do see what looks like another cellar door, but as you walk by it, you notice that there's a chain and a lock on it. So there obviously it looks like that you can see that there are footsteps that started leading up to it, but it looks like, and you see, let me see. Yeah, you guys see that there's these footprints that are kind of leading up to it, but they also start kind of leading off. If, Nico specifically, if you could make a perception check for me.
Fuck me over there.
Just one more.
That's a 18 total.
Perfect. You do notice that the drag marks that look quite recognizable from the House of Mirrors start leading into that cellar door that is in the back. But what you do notice is that it came through the alleyway from a different direction, not the way that you came. So obviously that the mirror was dragged through there, but through a way that you didn't come originally. So you do see that your best guess is the mirror that you saw is probably in that basement. And as you guys keep walking along, you see that there is one more window that's kind of busted open. It's dilapidated and stuff. And again, you're right next to that door that is open that leads on down to the stairwell. And as you guys are kind of walking around, we're going to go over to Silas and Kazim and see what you guys are up to. So you guys are making your way down the flow, I assume, unless there was something else you wanted to do there before you left.
I'm following Kazim's lead.
Okay, Kazim, what are you doing?
I'd like to be flying above the rooftops,
Okay.
so that Silas can see me because he knows where I am.
Okay.
But I'd like to be doing this as stealthily as possible if I can.
All right, go ahead and please make me a stealth roll.
I will gladly. That's a 13.
Okay, so as stealthily as one kind of can with your large kind of wings, they are going to make some noise, but not as much as Silas. You're actually kind of shocked by how quiet they seem to be. You kind of expected a little bit more uplift and more whoosh coming from it, but
Yeah.
he kind of takes off and he's still in visible sight of you. You are fully aware of where he is as he goes around the bank district. There doesn't seem to be too much going on. As you guys start kind of crossing over the bridge over from the bank district into the current district, if Kazim, if you could go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Perception. I'm rolling rocks today. That's an 11.
You kind of don't see all that much, and as Silas, you begin to kind of cross over, you see that there's this, you look over and you just hear this, "Hey, mister!" And you turn around, and behind you, you see this kind of younger orc with a kind of dagger in his hand, holding, "Give me your money."
I am simply going to bring out my glaive and sort of not threateningly sort of poke it at him or anything, just hold it visible.
I assume you're trying to intimidate him.
Well, I'm simply going to stand there and just sort of go,
As
if you want to lose a finger or 2 or 5 to the last of Zenok, you can keep going, or you can walk away. Find yourself a nice warm hole to rest in for the night, and I'll forget that I saw your face.
So, as you say this, you kind of see this orc, this young orc, very young. You'd say he's probably a good, like, maybe 5 or 6 years younger than you. Obviously hasn't gone through any kind of, he hasn't been part of a tribe that you can tell. He just seems like he's been kind of lost off. Perhaps a kid that was left as an orphan. And you see him kind of, his face drop as he's looking at that glaive. And he kind of puts his head down and he goes, He just kind of nods his head at you and turns around and starts walking away. You do notice that he's a bit sallow and probably a little bit malnourished and stuff, but he obviously has, managed to easily scare him away. Kazim, you didn't notice any of this shit. As you were just flying by. You didn't give a fuck.
I'm gonna sort of bash my glaive down 2 times.
He kind of stops, turns to you. It looks you kind of in the eye. A bit of fear, kind of a little bit of terror in his eye, but also a little bit of intrigue, as he seems to recognize that as some kind of call.
I'm gonna regret this one day, but I'm gonna take one of my javelins and throw it onto the ground in front of me. Practice how to use that, and you'll find yourself fed.
So he picks up the javelin and looks at it, and he sees the kind of engravings that have been on the handle as they came from your tribe's village, and everything seemed to have some kind of purpose and meaning. And he sees the initials of Grumish on the handle. Seems a little bit puzzled from it, but looks at you and stakes it in the ground, almost as if like nature is taking over from him. And he kind of bows to you a little bit and stakes it up and starts walking away. Almost as if he instinctually knew what to do with it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep going.
All right.
And I hope I don't need a 5th javelin at any point.
All right. If you guys could please, either one of you make a investigation. Actually, real quick, Kazim, being as high up as you would, I'm gonna need you to make a perception check for me.
Another perception check?
I'm gonna need you to, just because you're high off of the ground. You probably wouldn't see it with your passive.
That is a 24.
So very quickly, you were kind of looking around, seeing what's going on and stuff, and you notice out of the blue, as you're flying around up above, you see in one of the intersections of one of the streets that there's this splatter of blood. You have no idea what it's from, but you do see that there's the splatter of blood kind of going into one of the alleyways down into the blocks. Silas, if you want to, you're welcome to make one if you want to, but you do see that he immediately notices this and starts looking down at something.
Investigation, you said?
Yeah.
That's 19.
Easily enough, you see what he's looking at, and you kind of trace his eyes down, and you see that that source of blood kind of leading into an alleyway that's about maybe 25 to 30 meters away from you.
My hunter's instinct take over, and I immediately begin following the trail.
Okay. So as you guys are Kazim, are you following?
Yeah, I'm gonna land and back up Silas here.
Okay. As you guys are kind of following it around and stuff, you kind of go around the corner, and you manage to very quickly, both of you, make a perception check. This is actually, Kazim, you're gonna pick this up immediately. You start hearing footsteps coming around the corner.
13.
13. Silas, you don't quite hear it.
Yep.
I'm gonna ready my crossbow.
Okay, get your crossbow ready. And are you guys both gonna try and hide, or are you guys gonna just kind of wait and see what happens?
Having heard Kazim get his crossbow out, I'm gonna like grip my glaive again and turn on my heel.
Okay.
So
as you guys
wherever
are
he's
sitting there,
facing.
Nico and Mistrix, as you come around the corner from looking around the final side of the house, you see that there is a quite large orc with quite a lot of weapons on his back, and an Aarakocra behind him with a crossbow kind of pointed in your guys' direction.
Can I just kind of like slightly hiss out of panic?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Get the job and just let go of for fuck's sake.
The bard from the water wheel is joining you, Nico.
This is too much for one fucking evening.
Well, the person who
Well-
assaulted your friend is definitely not me.
Yeah. So, I found the guy we're looking for. Kinda. Maybe.
Blood trail.
I believe he's
Yeah, blood trail. Inside the house. Yeah, cool. Fun.
Not mortally wounded, right?
No, oh gosh, no.
Mortally
He
challenged,
is
more like.
more than fine. Probably. Yes, most likely.
If he was able to run away from you, he should be fine.
I believe the hunter, the orc, would know that he's perfectly capable.
Also-
Just wait.
Also, this is most likely a trap. Let me tell you, because he told me specifically to tell you to go in there. So, yeah, cool.
If it's a
right?
trap for a bird, should I go in first?
I feel like one of us
Okay.
going in as opposed to all of us is a really bad plan.
Yes, but he's also not expecting me.
Well, are we just gonna fucking
He's
burst from like all the fucking
expecting
doors or something?
someone. I don't know that he'll take a cat over a bird necessarily.
Oh, the Christ. Oh my fucking god. Then like Nico, he just like he scrambles his hands and like he points to where he saw the dragon marks, like from what direction it came from. Like, I mean, like it's basically the fucking same like back in the circuit, in the fucking festival. I mean, it's gotta be here.
So we're under the suspicion that this is Bon that just attacked you, and he is in fact the one who stole the mirror.
I mean, look, if you've been looking for a guy with like purple eyes, and those eyes, let me tell you, were fucking purple as shit, you know, I would assume that, yes, probably.
Okay.
If the mirror is here, we need to destroy it before it hurts anyone else.
Hold
Or
on.
kill him or something?
Destroying the mirror may be out of the question. This isn't our mirror to destroy, and just because somebody's using it for nefarious means does not mean it's ours to
I've seen
take
what
offline.
you do.
As have I, but we must learn its power to make sure we're not letting out an larger evil. I'd like to get up on the roof and see if I can't find any. It's an abandoned building, right?
Yes, it is. It's very dilapidated. As you guys are coming across it, you do see that some of the pillars are a little bit rotting away as if termites have been eating away with it, but most of it is stone. But you do see, as you're climbing up to the roof, you see that there are holes in the roof and stuff like that. It's been left alone for quite some time. No one has lived in here. By your guess, you'd probably say about a decade, if not more.
I'd like to look inside as stealthily as I can so nobody notices me peering in through the ceiling.
Please make a stealth check.
That's a 5.
All three of you down below hear him immediately stumble inside. It is loud as hell. You just hear him fly up, flap in, and just as soon as he steps on the roof, you hear this loud creaking and cracking and snap. And luckily enough, you managed, Kazim, to kind of flutter down, but it obviously made quite a lot of noise as you're peering in. But you did almost fall through the roof. But as you're looking inside with your passive perception, you're able to see that there's not too much in there. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot. There's a couple empty boxes and a little tiny, what's it called? Maybe a bedroll kind of in the corner. But ultimately, there doesn't seem to be all that much. Not even a light has been lit up there, so there doesn't seem to be anything in there.
Okay. Is this like an upstairs room, or like is it just one large?
While you guys were in there, you were in what looks like an attic, because it is a 2-story with possibly an attic in the roof. It seems that you can see a little latch with a ladder that could be dropped down into the second floor if you'd wish. But looking into the attic, you see again just some wood and some shingles. Obviously, you can tell where the wood has been falling down, but it looks like nothing has been in here for quite some time.
Do I see any ways into the second story from the attic?
Yeah, you
Like
do see
stairs
a little like doorway that has like a ladder that if you walked up to it, you could probably drop it down to be able to get to the second floor.
Okay.
While he's up there, can I look at the orc and be like, your bird friend really didn't hear me say anything about the basement, did he?
He is an inquisitive sort.
I'm just gonna nonchalantly, sneak my way into the fucking main floor.
Okay, so
So
Do you-
we're just doing this.
do you just quietly trying to go in, or are you just gonna open the door and walk in?
I'm gonna quietly go in.
Anyone that's trying to quietly go into the front door, please make a stealth check.
I will do so.
You know how Nico would just walk in from the basement. Whatever.
So you're just gonna walk into the front door?
Yeah.
All right. So you don't even need to worry about it. As you're creeping towards this door and ready to kind of grab it and quietly open it, Nico just kind of walks over and pushes open the door, walking in normally. And, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Just kind of walks in, looking around and stuff. What do you do as if Nico's just brushed past you and quickly walked in?
But I got an 18 and I want to be sneaky.
Nico had no idea that you were there trying to go inside as he just pushed past you and opened up the door. No one has any idea that you are inside.
Silas
fun.
is just gonna kind of facepalm and then slowly walk in.
So as you guys kind of walk in, you see that there are a couple candles lit on some extra little table. There's the stairs that kind of lead up to the second floor, and then there's the door that both Nico and Mistrix saw that led into the basement. And there, in between the two stair sets, there is a side table that has a little candle lit on it with a kind of charred, ruined book that's just kind of sitting there. You look over and you see that there's a very destroyed rug. It looks like moths have gotten into it after years. There's a piece, what you assume might have been a chair, but the back is fallen off and the cushion is starting to rot on the inside. There's a fireplace that hasn't seen use in a long time, dust collecting over everything. There's a couple shelves with broken jars and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to really be anything really going on, but you guys do kind of notice that through the dust on the floor that there are footsteps leading to the staircase that's going downstairs. Kazim, are you doing anything while you're in the attic?
I'm gonna go from the attic down into the second floor.
Okay, so you kind of walk over to the ladder that you saw, and you kind of start letting it down. And as you do, you see a plume of dust kind of flowing from underneath it. It obviously hasn't been opened in quite some time. And as you go down, you look around and you see there's a small little cupboard in which people might have kept their clothes. There's a bed there that the mattress is rotting out. You see these straw kind of sticking out of it. It's been left alone to rot for a long time. There's dust everywhere collecting over everything. It doesn't look like anyone's been in this house for an incredibly long time.
Okay.
You do see that there, right here, it seems to be just one room, just one singular room. There is a little chamber pot kind of in the corner that maybe people go do their business, and then you see the steps that lead downstairs. But there isn't really all that much. It's just one singular room.
I'll make my way down the stairs again. I'm just trying to like clear out the building, make sure we're
Fair
not gonna
enough.
get ambushed.
Fair enough. So you guys walk downstairs. You guys looking around. You see Kazim kind of making his way, letting you guys know that the top two rooms are clear. That there's nothing up there.
Silas is just gonna nod and slowly pull up his face mask and just kind of sit it over his nose and mouth. He doesn't trust anything in this room. If nothing else, it's gonna be filled with asbestos or something. And then I'm
Look at him.
yeah, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start sort of looking around to see if the trail of blood is in here, and if it is, where it might go.
So you do see a small kind of trail of blood that seems to kind of trickle down very slowly down the stairs. A little, like maybe a drop here or there. That doesn't seem to be all that much at all, not nearly as much as it seemed like before. Yeah, other than that, you just see it go straight towards the stairs that are going downstairs.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, what is the marching order for going downstairs?
Me.
Okay.
Silas is going in front of Kazim,
Okay,
so Nico can slot themselves in wherever they like, but
okay.
Yeah, I'll take up the back.
Probably go last.
So Nico's going. So it's going.
I will go-
Mistrix, Silas, Kazim, Nico. Yeah.
from the sounds of it.
Yeah,
Okay. So as
that
you guys
works.
start going down the stairs, it starts going into this it's not, you wouldn't necessarily say it's a large room, but it's definitely bigger than it's obviously the size of the whole first floor and the second floor combined. It's beaten up. There's a fireplace that's down here. As you guys are walking down, what you do notice immediately is that there is this tall, lengthy man with white hair and the white tattered robes of the Flow with the Flow's emblem on it, with the gold trimming on it, and he has a knife in his hand, and he's pointing it down towards a small child with black robes, black hair, and blue eyes. Nico, as you go down, immediately recognize this child, and actually Silas would also notice this, is it looks an awful lot like Freya.
No!
Nico.
Bitch!
No!
Nico, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw for me. It's very important.
2.
Oh,
Two.
that's
Yep,
good.
you are immediately sure that for whatever reason this man is pointing this blade towards the child. All you guys see is that there's I've got us over on D20, by the way, over to kind of give you guys an idea of what it looks like.
Yeah.
You look around, there's the tattered up rug, there's two bed rolls that are out, and a fireplace that's lit, there's a bookshelf, but you see that this man is pointing this blade towards this small child, and the small child kind of just seems standing there in a dazed. The man is sallow, kind of pale skin. He's got his tattered robes on and stuff like that, and he seems almost scared of this child for some reason, angry. Kazim, with your passive investigation, your passive perception, you notice that he doesn't seem to be trying to approach this child. He almost seems to be backing away for some reason.
I want to throw one of the stones.
Okay. So you throw one of the stones at both of them, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it around both of them because it's got a 10-foot range.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and make a dexterity check for me.
Dex check. So we just talking roll a dice at dexterity, or?
Yep. We're gonna see how close you can get it.
That's a 21.
So you make it through a 21. So I'm gonna say that you managed to hit it directly in between both of them, right in the middle, and for some reason, nothing happens.
I'll just get rid of one of the stones. Cool.
Freya's standing there, huh?
As
And
far
he's
as
holding
yep,
like a
it's,
knife.
he's holding a knife towards Freya.
You know, whatever. I'm fucking blasting whatever. I don't give a fuck. What? He just reaches up his hand. He's like, bitch, no.
Okay, so you're gonna
Nico blasts him.
So you're doing Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, he's doing a fucking Eldritch Blast. I mean, this is fucking Freya.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
Please roll for the attack, if you will.
Yes, blessed.
Oh, that's low. That's 14.
14. So you set off your first one, and as the anger starts building up inside of you, you feel this rage feeling to protect Freya's instinctual. You hold up your hand and you let it blast out, but unfortunately you're a little too much into the anger of it, and it blasts off into the side right next to him. And Bond kind of turns to you and goes, "What are you doing?"
I move away from her.
Okay, so just for the sake of things, if we all could roll initiative, please.
Ah. Oh no.
That's a dirty 20.
15.
Oh no. That's an
13.
that's an 11. I'm a slow boy.
Nico, what was yours?
18.
18. Okay. Dyer or Mistrix?
13.
13. Okay. So we're not gonna go into what's it called?
Combat.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into combat just yet, but I want to have something ready just in case we decide to. It's all depending on how you guys are gonna do this. And then there. That is that Okay. So he's holding out. Bond is holding out this blade and go. What do you mean? Do you not see it? Don't you see it?
Bon, what's going on?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
Friend of Marcus.
Who the fuck is Marcus?
How did you get here?
I've been here for 3 weeks. This thing has kept me down here. And you see that Freya's just kind of weirdly opening its eyes and looks over at Nico. Nico. Kind of almost seems to be weird in this weird trance.
What do Freya's eyes look like?
Technically going just last.
So, because the eyes are cut, it's going to be a pretty high roll because it seems to be barely able to open her eyes for some reason. So you can try, but it's going to be a pretty high roll if you want to do perception.
Yeah, gotta try.
Okay.
That's 7.
Yeah, you can't tell. Her eyes are just a little too closed, unfortunately.
Oh, that's the mirror, isn't it? Is that the mirror?
Yes,
What?
as you look behind them, you do see that Bond's holding his on the Freya, and right behind Freya is this beautiful ornate mirror with the purple crystal on top, or the pink crystal on top of it, as you know, is rosemary quartz, with the feathers coming down, and on the bottom is the skeletal feathers underneath it.
Is the quartz glowing? Is there any sign of like magic coming from it? It's like
It's kind of hard to tell from here.
Bon.
Nico's gonna start pushing through them past the guys as he walks.
Bon,
There.
get the girl away from the mirror.
I'm not touching that thing. If anything, it's gonna die.
Shoot! Bitch! No! No, I shoot him again.
You shoot at him again. All right.
I am actively pushing past the guys and running towards Freya.
All right. You guys have control over your tokens, and if that's what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna go into initiative.
No, I don't. No, Nico, no.
So we're gonna start with Nico because Nico's the one that decided to start it. So go ahead, Nico. What do you want to do?
Well, first of all, he is shooting at the man.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for the attack.
24 to hit.
24. So that does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
14.
Okay. So as you release this green energy, or this blue energy coming from your hands, fire it off. It pushes him back up against the wall. You see blood splatter all over against the back of the wall. He kind of sits there and he's incredibly injured as he drops the blade and goes, "You don't understand."
What have you done?
And you look over at Freya and you see this menacing smile come across Freya's face. And you hear the sinister voice. It sounds like Freya, but you hear a voice behind it and go, "So predictable." And all of a sudden, Freya starts kind of morphing into this weird kind of 5 foot tall, 5'5" thing. It doesn't seem to have a face on it for some reason. Bluish gray skin as it kind of elongates on itself. And yeah, you've come to realize that is most definitely not Freya. Kazim, after you've done a lot of studying in the libraries and stuff, you instantly recognize this as a doppelganger.
Am I up in initiative?
So since we're starting with Nico, we're gonna start with Kazim because we're gonna say that Nico had that spree. So Kazim, you're welcome to do whatever you'd like to do.
What do I have?
Anyway.
I'm out of spell slots because we did not get a long rest.
Oh my god, there's no way. Is there any way we can help Bon? Or is he gone?
He's not
Is
gone
he
yet,
dying?
but he's incredibly hurt. He's incredibly hurt.
Fuck.
Okay, let's see. I have to have something. Would you say Bon, in this case, not within 5 feet, I'm assuming, but would you say Bon is an ally?
Yeah, he doesn't seem hostile towards you guys at all. He just
Cool.
seemed terrified of this little girl that obviously turned into not to be the little girl.
Just a heads up to the other players, don't look at stream. Fog of War, I think, is in effect.
Yeah.
I would like. So we don't know if the mirror is putting off any magic,
You
right?
have no idea. You don't know anything about this mirror.
Can I hold an action until somebody gets closer?
Sure, if you'd like to.
I would like to, as soon as somebody gets within 5 feet of the doppelganger, fire my crossbow at the doppelganger.
Okay, so if that's what we're gonna do, next up we're gonna do Nico.
The thing is, does Nico know what doppelgangers are per se?
No, you just saw this little girl turn into this weird grayish blue monster.
I mean, in his mind, the dude did something and turned Freya into the thing. Like, in his mind, this is still, like, as much as... for Nico, this is Freya. Like, he will... Fucking hell, how fucking far away is it? So 30... He will run up to her. Yeah? He will run up to her and hug her. Like, he will just, like, well, hug her. The thing is huge, I imagine now. But in his mind, this is his tiny Freya right there. That just fucking convulse into this thing. Like...
So you run up and
Yes.
try and hug it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want... There's not really a roll for that. You can go up and try, but... Actually, you know what? Make a dex...
Grapple.
Makes a dex throw for me.
Saving throw?
Yeah.
What?
But no, just the regular dex.
Just normal.
Just normal dex.
Okay. 22 total.
So you manage to kind of run up and give this weird grayish blue thing a hug. And as you're hugging it, it just kind of seems to be putting its arms up and doesn't really seem to be moving or really phased by it whatsoever. Doesn't seem to really care or notice. Is that all you're gonna do?
That's all he's doing. He's just like, he's not even thinking. He's just holding his Freya right now.
All right.
Is that gonna be Kazim's?
That is 100%
Oh,
not a firing shot. That's.
that's what I was
Can
worried
I-
about.
Can I shout, move away from it?
Yeah, absolutely, you can. But I guess the real question is, does Nico listen?
He's shooting his Freya. Like, he will stand there. He will be hugging Freya.
So I guess, yeah, you could say it, but obviously nothing's gonna happen. So what do you do?
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say I know what a doppelganger is in this universe. Do I know it's inherently evil?
Yes.
Cool. I'm firing on it.
Okay, go ahead and roll for the attack.
Ooh, baby, that's a 23.
All right, go ahead and roll for damage.
Do I get to add my sneak attack to this because somebody's within 5 feet?
Yes,
Another
you do.
enemy of the target within 5 feet.
Yes, you do.
Cool. So that is going to be a d6 plus a d8 plus 3.
Nice. Dragon, I'm sorry.
Ooh, that is
It worked.
12 damage. Right? 9 plus 3, 12.
Okay, so you kind of line up your shot, and as soon as you start Nico make a break for it to kind of go shoot off, you instinctually see what's going on. You pull up your crossbow and fire at it, and it hits it in the shoulder, and you hear this kind of as it kind of recoils from the pain of it, and you see this weird thick black ooze dripping from the ground as it kind of looks at you and kind of, again, it doesn't have a face, but you see this weird, menacingly creepy curl kind of coming up, and you see these 2 slits on its eyes, bright fucking purple. And we're gonna go to Silas. It's up to you.
I'm gonna move forward 20 feet, and I'm just gonna yell at Nico. That's not Freya. You gave Freya to her father. And I'm gonna throw a javelin.
Okay, go ahead and roll for the attack.
Yep. Oh, that is I can't tell what that is. It's a unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20, so go ahead and roll for damage, please.
Cool. Oh my god. That's my fucking D6. There it is. Thank you. Oh, that's a 4 damage. Shit.
4 damage. So as you throw out your javelin at this thing, and it kind of is able to kind of bend out of the way a little bit, and you see it kind of graze across the chest just a little bit, and you see this tiny little little black goop kind of drop off of it, but ultimately it doesn't seem to really do all that much to it. So next up, it's going to be Bond's turn, and he is, without even thinking about it, he's just going to run off in this direction, trying to get away from it as he is bleeding profusely. So he's just going to kind of run off in this way, trying to get away from everything, and that's all he's really going to do for right now. And now it is Freya's turn, or this doppelganger's turn. So let's think. Silas, if you could please make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Thanks. That's a 12.
As you're sitting there, you see this doppelganger running over, and you throw your javelin at it, and you see as it bends back and gets that little slice, it looks at you and it makes eye contact, and you see this bright, burning purple glow from it, and you hear a voice in your head and go, "I thought I recognized you." And it kind of tilts its head and goes, "Do you remember their screams? Do you remember the laughter?" And you see its body start forming into this. All of a sudden, the skin starts going green and very familiar. And all of a sudden, this thing that was bluish green all of a sudden looks a lot like the tribe leader in which you lost, with this huge smile, and you get flashbacks immediately of that night, hearing the screams, but then you hear the laughter, this guttural laughter. And please make a Constitution saving throw.
That's good. That's a 22.
You hear this voice in the back of your head go, "Breathe. Look at its eyes. It is not he." And you look in his eyes and you realize that it looks a lot like your old tribe leader, like your war chief Zenok, but it is not. You can tell immediately that it's not.
Yeah.
But that weird laughter in your head, very familiar. And he is going to do his multi-attack. So he's going to attack Nico at least once, real quick, with a slam attack.
No.
That's an 18.
It is.
And that is 9 points of damage. And if you could please make a strength saving throw for me.
Yeah, I suck at that. That's a 2.
That's a 2. So it managed to break 3, and it slams you across the wall, so you end up going across over to this wall here. And as it's free from your grasp, it starts running towards Silas over here, and it's going to do its second attack against Silas.
That's fine.
That is... Ooh, it's actually just a 9.
That ain't gonna hit me any day.
So you see it raise up what looks like this big great axe that you know Zedek normally holds, and it starts trying to slam it against you, and it manages to miss. And weirdly enough, when it hits the stone next to you, it seems to squish against the ground. And then in the back of that room, Nico, you hear another set of footsteps coming from the room in which you're next to. And when you look out across that doorway, you see a very familiar face of Marcus. Kind of big old smile across his face. And Nico, if you could please make a wisdom saving throw. It's a 6. So all of a sudden, you hear this voice in your head, and you hear this kind of quizzical kind of voice going, "Ah, a Crowmore. Welcome to my city." And it starts weirdly forming into this other Asamar with beautiful blonde hair and nice tan skin that you immediately remember as your father standing in front of you. And he's going to make an attack against you. That is a 7. Does that hit?
No.
All right, he's gonna try, and because he did that, that is all he can do. So we're gonna go on over to Kazim. Your turn.
Did Mistrix get a turn?
Yeah, Mistrix got a turn, didn't you?
Cat has nothing to do in the first place. Cat doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kat just tried to convince that wasn't actually Freya. I'm pretty sure Mistrix went after Nico.
I do not remember. Okay.
I don't think they did.
No, I didn't go, but I have nothing to do in the first place. I don't know who Freya is.
I mean, it was both Silas and
Because I thought I went Kazim, Nico, Mistrix,
Kazim.
Silas, Bon, Freya, Marcus.
I remember
I'm probably
Mistrix
just
going
losing
before me. I don't remember Mistrix going before me.
Yeah, it's all good.
Alright. I'm just gonna do I notice Marcus in the room as well?
Yeah, you probably clocked it by now because you're not in like immediate danger, so you probably saw at the corner of your eye that Marcus has just walked in. Someone that you're familiar with, but you don't know too much about.
I'm gonna shout over to Bon. He's wearing like robes of the flow, right?
Yes.
I'm just gonna yell out to him, "Can you give us a hand with this?"
He kind of looks over to you, obviously terrified of what's going on, and he kind of grabs his dagger, kind of shaking, but holds it out in front of him and just kind of nods.
I'm also just gonna say, because he can see I'm also wearing symbols of the flow on me, right?
Yes.
Help the orc. And then I'm gonna fire at this doppelganger that just changed into another Azamar, I guess?
Yep. So you're going to shoot at what was Marcus.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for the attack.
Does a 19 hit?
It sure does. And because he's right
sneak
there,
attack
you
on
also
it?
get to do sneak damage. Or, sneak attack.
Yes. That hurts. 7.
Okay. So, Nico, as you're sitting there kind of in disbelief as your father has just appeared in front of you, and you're shaking, you all of a sudden see this kind of crossbow bolt kind of go across and hit it right in the collarbone right here and kind of skate off and hit the wall behind it. And it kind of recoils, but it doesn't seem to stop as you see this thick black blood kind of going down its chest, but the smile doesn't leave its face. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's it.
All right, then we're going to go to Nico. What would you like to do?
Nico, he's just fucking staring at his father out of fucking nowhere. And he just puts his hand like around the necklace that he has, and like all he wishes to do is just get away to safety, and he will actually cast on himself false life.
Okay, so as This is the thing where it gives you
Yes.
temp, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So as you do, Nico all of a sudden grabs his necklace upon him as seeing his father in straight fear, and you hear in your voice this kind of soothing voice in your head that on that day that has saved you, and goes, I'll protect you, child. And you feel that all of a sudden you guys see this beautiful blue kind of mist coming out from Nico surrounding him. You see this weird kind of aura around him, and Nico, that's how you are going to get your temporary hit points from that.
All right. But that is my action. Yeah. I don't do much more than that. Other than just look up at him in fear.
All right. Well then, Mistrix, it's your turn.
Cat would like to become the stealthy.
Okay, so you're going to try and hide.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Alright, real people dice, let's go! And our bonus is... If I can read. That is an unnatural 20.
An unnatural 20. All right, you, as far as you can tell, it seems to be that you've just slunked off into the shadows.
Okay. In my slinking, can I move?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to move here.
Okay.
Because Cat would like to be behind the thing that is terrifying.
Okay.
And since I'm moving past it, can I have an opportunity attack?
Actually, it would get opportunity attack on you, but you're not moving. It's not moving out of range of you, and you're not moving out of range of it, so it doesn't really work like that.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I've moved, and I've done stealth, so I can't attack yet, can I?
Yeah, because you're not a rogue, so that would be your action. Do you have any bonus actions you could do?
No.
Okay.
Not really. I want to inspire it, and I don't think we want to inspire the enemy.
No, but you could inspire your friends, I'm sure.
Has to be... I have to play music, so we're not going to do that. We're going to remain stealthy,
Okay.
and we're going to stay right here.
Fair enough. So if that's all you're going to do, we're going to head on over to Silas. What's up?
A lot of things. Right, okay, we're doing it. So everyone's gonna kind of see, sort of in the burnt and tattered cloth that Silas has been wearing, there's gonna be this very subtle green glow that comes from his back. And he's gonna rage.
All right. So as all of a sudden, as you guys are sitting there, seeing this weird, all of a sudden new orc that's appeared in front of you, the one that you guys have come to know, you see this bright green glow start coming out from the back. It's almost hot, and you feel this weird tension come across the entire room, and it feels angry, fury, but in such a control that it's almost terrifying to you. And you look over at Silas, and you see this pure hatred and rage in his eyes, but you also manage to see that it seems to be able to single out specifically at this person in front of him.
Alright. I'm gonna glaive attack.
All right.
Reckless, but I get advantage because I succeeded, right?
Yep.
Oh, thank God for that. 'Cause that's a fucking nat one. That is a 17.
That hits.
Alright, I get the +2 because of rage as well, right? That's the wrong dice. Let's not roll a d8, that could fuck me over. That's 9 slashing.
9 slashing, alright. So, as you guys are seeing this green glow come from his back, he managed to pull out his glaive, and you see his kind of knuckles turning white, and you see these weird runes on his glaive start glowing, and you see him kind of bring it up and slash it down, and it cuts straight across this whole weird guy's chest, and it splatters across, and he seems, and he kind of drops down to one knee, and you see that it looks like he's very bloodied and very injured, and he seems having a hard time recovering from that.
I stare him right in the eyes. You are no warlord.
Weirdly enough, the smile does not leave his face.
Fine. That's all I can do.
Okay. So, Bon is up next, and he is going to run up to this guy right here, and he is going to try and slash him with the dagger. And that is going to hit. And he's going to... So he kind of runs up, and you see him kind of bloodied a little bit, but he springs out his dagger, and he kind of swings up, and he kind of tries to stab the thing in the back. It doesn't seem to do as much as you think. He kind of glances off a little bit, but there is a very deep wound. Mistrix, you manage to see a very deep wound kind of opening up in the back, and you can tell that this thing is having quite a hard time standing up. So next it's going to be its turn, and it's going to turn over towards Kazim. Kazim, if you could please make a wisdom saving throw for me. You're muted, by the way.
I add a 5 to this roll, so that is a 13.
So you feel this kind of presence poking around in your head, and you hear a voice that goes, "Child of Paylor, welcome. You know not what you've involved yourself with." And all of a sudden, the creature in front of you, Silas, is now beginning to sprout feathers and turn into a weird exact copy of Kazim. It looks as if Kazim is standing in front of you. And he's going to turn to Bon, and he's going to do a slam attack. And in front of Mistrix, Silas, and Kazim, staring Kazim in the eyes, bright purple irises, brings out its feathered arm, turns it into some kind of blade, and slices Bon in half. And as he drops to the ground, Bon is dead.
Was that a critical hit by chance?
No, it was not.
Damn.
Oh,
You just
shit.
have like no health.
He's guaranteed dead?
He's
Spare the dying?
He's dead. Well, I'll let you spare the dying because it wasn't double his hit points, but it was awful fucking close. So if you want to spare the dying, I will let you.
Okay.
So
We need witnesses.
if that's the case, then we're gonna just put that on him real quick. So Bon is out. How do I fucking do this?
Little circle thing when you click on him next to the cogwheel.
There it is. So we're just gonna put him like that. So he manages to smack him away, and Bon manages to flip over a few times and crashes into the ground, unmoving. You see Kazim look over, and he casts this spell to try and save him. And you see him breathing lightly, but he is not getting up anytime soon. And he's going to turn around towards the cat that's behind him, because unfortunately his perception is incredibly high, because he uses his telekinesis to do that. And he's going to attack you, but unfortunately it's only going to be a 6. Does that hit?
I don't think so. Hold on. No.
Okay. So, next up is the Marcus, the one that looks a lot like Nico's father. He's gonna step out. He's gonna turn to Nico and go, "Why would you ever run from me?" And Nico, if you could please make a wisdom saving throw again.
It's a 22.
So you manage to see, you feel this fear creeping up to the front of your mind, and you manage to push it off. It almost was beginning to paralyze you, frighten you to the very core. You're able to push it off, knowing that that's not your father in front of you, and he tries to attack you. Oof. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
It is.
Okay. You take 8 damage. And that is going to be the end of his turn. So next we're going to go to Kazim.
Okay. Spare the Dying is a full action, and it's at touch range. So I do have to spend my turn going over to Bon and give him Spare the Dying.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's all I can do.
Okay. So then we're going to go to Nico.
You will. Oh god. You will just like, as the fear is sort of like receding, like he will look him in the face. And he will just. He will sigh, and just angrily like look at him, and he will just shakily like put up his hand, and he will fire off a actually, you know what, no, as he's pulling his hand forward, like a skeletal hand just kind of shoots like right into his father's face, basically, to try and cover it, like specifically like the eyes, like he doesn't want to be looking at them. And he was gonna use chill touch.
You're going to use which one?
Chill touch.
Okay. And what do you
There's 25 to hit.
That hits.
And that will be 6 points of necrotic damage.
You said 6?
6, yes.
Okay. So you reach out your hand towards what looks like your father, and he doesn't seem to move. He doesn't seem scared of you at first, but as soon as your fingers touch his cheek, you see this black coming from the inside of your arm, stretching out into the whole side of his face, going into his veins, and you see this face of anguish going across its whole face as his eye begins to kind of shut and turn black and necrotic, and the whole starts beginning to rot. You can tell that he's taken quite a bit of damage from you.
The hand actually stays there until my next turn, technically.
Okay. Great.
In his face.
So next is going to be Mistrix.
I would like to use my kitty cat claws
Okay.
and grab one of the wounds on the guy in front of me and just try to like rip it open.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack.
Aw. Sad face. That's why I don't trust D&D Beyond. It's a 7. It does not work.
So you kind of bring out your claws and you're ready to attack, but it seems as almost if he can kind of sense you, and he kind of dodges to the side as you come out with one of your claws to kind of strike out, and you miss. It goes off to the side. Is that all you can do?
Aside from taking a step backwards so that he can't retaliate.
So I gotta clarify, are you moving actually further back? Or are you just gonna essentially stay put?
Essentially, she's staying put, but she's
Okay.
not gonna like
Okay. Just want to make sure.
him down. Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Okay. Well, if that is the case, then it would have been Bond, but it's actually going to be this guy's turn. So,
I don't get a 10.
oh yeah, what am I talking about? Silas, it's your turn.
Okay, second verse, same as the first, baby.
Okay.
I need those two. Nat 20.
Natural 20. Please roll for damage and double everything, including modifier.
Alright, cool. Fuck. Wait, I've lost my D10 again. I'm so shit. There it is. Alright, so that's a 4, so that doubles to 8. Plus 10 because of bonus and rage.
Okay.
So 18.
How do you want to do this?
I basically plant my glaive onto his foot, grab him by the head, and force him onto the blade.
Ooh, okay. So, Silas Kazim and Mistrix, you both see him grab his glaive and stab it into his foot. And then all of a sudden you see, and again, you feel this rage and you see the arms bulging with this green energy that seems to be going through his arms, and he grabs his head and starts forcing him into the blade and pushing, and you hear the snap of his skull. And all of a sudden, that guy has stopped moving entirely. And he's gone.
Yay.
Beautifully done, sir.
And then I'm gonna move
Mhm.
here to give this guy a second target to maybe alleviate a bit of the heat from Nico. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. So, as this guy's action, he seems to kind of recoil for some reason, as if he could tell what just happened to his friend, even though it happened behind him. And Silas, if you could make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I'm gonna use the same one I got the nat 20 for. That is a +1, that's 16.
So you manage to feel this kind of creeping feeling inside your head, as if it's searching for something, and it doesn't quite be able to find what it's looking for. But all of a sudden, this thing does kind of start morphing into you, and it looks exactly like Silas, and it's going to try and attack you with a slam attack.
Yep.
And that is going to be an 18.
That'll hit.
And that's going to be 5 points of damage.
Half that because of rage, so is that 3?
That is 3. We are rounding up.
Nice.
So all of a
That's
sudden,
alright.
in front of you, Nico, you see that your father kind of turn around, and you hear this kind of, again, low, and it turns into this even deeper, and it turns into Silas, your friend, that person that's been helping you out in front of you with all the weapons on his back, and as it tries to punch in front of it, it doesn't seem to do quite as much damage as you thought it would, but it seems like it tried to deliver quite a heavy hit. Okay, so next up is Kazim.
Cool. I'm just gonna fire at the last remaining one.
Okay.
That's a natural 1.
So you go to try and shoot your bolt towards this thing, and unfortunately the bolt snaps in half and kind of jams up, and it takes you a little bit to try and get it unstuck and stuff, and it didn't shoot off, and you lost a crossbolt.
And that's all I can do.
All right, Nico.
Seeing as he's morphing, sort of turning around, Nico will what's Nico like down on this? Basically, like he hit the fucking wall and he was on his ass, right?
For the most part, you didn't get stuck prone, but you kind of got kind of pushed up against the wall and stuff. You were still able to kind of push yourself up and still be standing.
He's going to prop himself up a bit more steadily on the wall, like lean on it, and he will just reach out his hand once again and with chill touch.
Okay.
Still, he will
Roll for the
do
attack.
That is 24.
24, that hits. Roll for damage.
Oh, that was loud. That's 1. Been on necrotic.
So you kind of reach out your hand a little bit, and it seems as if as soon as you touch it, you see that black start going into its back, but he almost reacts and kind of pull forward a little bit. You manage to get a little bit of damage, but not as much as you would hope for.
That's it, yes. No
Alright.
bonus actions.
Mistrix, your turn.
All right. Seeing as the orc friend is very strong, she is going to kind of like graze his shoulder with her palm and cast heroism.
Okay, what does that do?
Okay, a willing creature that you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns.
Oh, cool.
When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary. So yeah,
Okay, so what is your spellcaster modifier?
3.
3. So, Silas, you get yourself 3 temporary hit points.
I will take that, thank you.
All right. And is there anything else you'd like to do?
With that, honestly, probably gonna move in as she does that, so that it's like a who you gonna hit next kind of thing.
Okay. And is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right, Silas, your turn.
Oh, the temptation to throw a javelin at the fucking mirror. But I'll hold off for now. I'll just keep swinging.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for the attack.
+5, that's a 15.
That just hits.
Okay, I'll take it. That is another 9.
Another 9. Excellent, excellent. So, you guys are watching and you see Silas kind of bring out his glaive after getting it. After you saw what he did to the other one, he grabs his glaive again and he jams it into the leg of this one in front of him. He drops down to one leg and you see that he's obviously starting to bleed quite profusely onto the ground below him, but he's not quite dead just yet. And it's now his turn. And he's gonna try and do a slam attack against Silas for doing that. And ooh, interesting. Does a 13 hit?
Does not.
So he tries and get up, but his leg seems to be kind of stuck with that glaive in his leg, and he doesn't seem just quite able to get up. He tries but Silas is able to back up just enough and pull that javelin out as the blood kind of splatters across. And to try and obviously get away from Silas a little bit, he's gonna look over at Mistrix. Mistrix, please make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm gonna use real people dice so that I may actually win. 18.
18, you feel this creeping feeling in front of you, but weirdly enough, it's not able to get what it's looking for, and you just hear inside of your head, Tabaxi. Where are you from? That's all it's able to do. So next up, it's going to be Kazim's turn.
There it is. Let's do. You said he's almost dead, right?
You have no idea. But you can tell that he's obviously been injured. He's very quite injured.
I'm just gonna shoot him one more time. I don't see a reason to do anything else.
Okay, go ahead and roll for the attack.
16?
That hits. Go ahead and roll for damage. And I think you would get sneak attack as well because he's surrounded.
That is 3 plus 3, 6.
6 damage. So you kind of shoot off and you see it kind of go into his chest just a little bit, right into his kind of abdomen area. And you see him kind of grab it. It's starting to hurt, and you see blood starting to spill out of it, and he's kind of doubling over, but he's still able to survive that. And we're going to go... Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That's it.
All right, we're going to go over to Nico.
Yeah, I've been looking at my character sheet. I have forgotten to be adding additional damage. I saw it on roll 20 that it's automatically added there, but on D&D Beyond. So he's missing a couple more hit points, but we can just continue from here because Nico, he will just continue with chill touch,
right.
basically like just tugging at his face.
Okay, go ahead and roll for the attack.
Ooh, 16 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
It hits. All right, that is 5 necrotic and 2 thunder.
5 necrotic and 2 thunder.
Yeah, all of my attacks get additional thunder damage from my patron.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, he will, like, the skeleton hand will kind of like where he first touched him, like around the eye. He would, like, the skeleton hand would just kind of dig into that and just start ripping it, like, to the side, like, to, like, have his head, like, turn around.
So Silas, as this creature is looking at you as it's lost its form of the of any kind of creature other than itself. It's looking at you, and behind it you see the skeletal hand kind of creep forward, and you see a blue glow coming from it. It seems to be a rotting hand, digs its fingers inside of its eye as it starts ripping out the side of it, and you see all the sinew and this dark goo dripping out the side of it as it rips off half of its head, and it drops, and you see Nico there with the black goo dropping from his arm as he kind of and that'll take you guys out of initiative.
Oh, God. I'm looking at the mirror.
You're gonna go look in the mirror?
Well, like from this distance.
So
I'm not going, but I'm looking in the direction of the mirror.
So if you could make either a perception or investigation check for me.
They're both the same, so that is an 11.
So I'm gonna take a look here real quick. Based off your, I'm gonna give it to you for your passive perception. You're still not gonna see quite a lot. You see the exact description of which Charles Lyria has given you of the mirror in which he's missing. You are fully aware that this is the mirror that he was missing, but from what you can tell, you don't see too much coming off of it. It doesn't seem all that weird. You do kind of look down and you see these weird groovings on the ground and some blood splattered across it, and they kind of got this weird kind of it looks purple it looks blue on the map. It's actually supposed to be purple, but there is no purple look to it. So you do see that, but other than that, you can't really tell anything.
Okay. I'm gonna look over to Kazim and sort of look over at Barn and make sure that those two are okay.
Bon is stable, right?
Yeah, Bon is just, he's still kind of hunched over. He hasn't moved, but you still that he's still breathing, but he hasn't moved at all since he's been knocked down. You see that he was bleeding profusely. You've kind of he's been kind of bandaged up as best as he could. It's not bleeding so much. He's not dying, but he's definitely unconscious.
Yeah,
sorry, you go first, Josh.
I want to go get a closer look at the mirror.
You want to get closer? How close you getting?
I hate that you just asked me that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, what's this blue circle on the floor in front of it? Is that fit? Can I see that?
With your passive perception, you do see that there is it's purple in like what you actually see. It's purple. You see it there, but yeah, you can see that it's there. It's engraved into the ground, but other than that, you just see this purple weird glow coming from it. It looks as if like maybe they got some dust and put it in there. You have no idea what it's for though.
I'm gonna turn to Silas and say, "You still got that stone on you, right?"
Oh, don't like this. Silas will nod.
I'm gonna step into the circle.
As soon as you do, every light around you dims immediately into pitches black. The mirror in front of you starts to vanish, and you see a bright light, single dot, coming from in front where the mirror used to be. Everything around you is pitch black. You can't see anything. Silas, Nico, and Mistrix, you just see all of a sudden Kazim just drop. He just goes in this weird lull, staring at the mirror. And Kazim, in your mind, you hear, "Child of Palor, come to let me free." And we're gonna take a break right there.
What do you mean we're gonna take a break right there?
We're at 2 hours. We're at 2 hours. I'm gonna go take a smoke real quick.
Bitch.
I found a friend!
boy, huh?
Oh, I don't like this. I don't.
He's also muted.
More
Welcome back,
threatened.
everyone. I am back.
Okay.
Missed you.
I'm sure you
I
did.
did. I didn't.
I'm sure. So, where we left off is Kazim has just walked through the purple gate and has lost all sight. And what his friends see is that he is in some kind of weird trance. No one can see see in front of him. All they can see is that he's facing this mirror, completely dull. Kazim, what you see is this bright light, and you just heard the voice calling to you. Do you say anything?
So the voice just said, "Son of Palor, you've come to release me."
Yes.
I'm gonna say, in as calm a voice as I can, "Who are you?"
It doesn't surprise me that the god of false hope would neglect to tell his children of me. Do you wish to see what your god is truly like?
Lay it on me.
So all of a sudden, that light that's seeing in front of you starts to expand just a little bit, and it starts calling, "Come, I will show you the truth." And you see also that the emblem on your chest, the emblem of Palor, is beginning to glow just a little bit.
I'm
Which-
gonna.
Mm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Silas, as you're right there, you do see like a light coming from, just a pale light coming from in front of Kazim as he's just kind of standing there in a trance.
Okay. My stone's at the ready, and I'm just waiting till it feels like the right moment.
Oh, 1 second, hold.
It's all good. I don't like this. I really don't like this.
I'm 100% dying. It's been fun, guys.
We're basically playing like 1,000 ways to die. Stupid way to fucking die.
Well, first we split the party.
Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna mutter under my breath, "Palor, protect me," and I'm gonna cast guidance on myself.
Okay.
And I'm gonna slowly approach the light.
So as you start going closer to the light, you see it start growing and growing and growing. And you see the light in front of you start glowing and glowing, brighter and brighter. And all of a sudden you feel a hand on the back of on your shoulder, a very heavy, warm hand. Gentle, but affirmative. As you see this bright light, this hand going across your other shoulder, and this bright light beginning to beam out from in front of you. Silas, you do see that Kazim all of a sudden does reach out his arm and start heading towards the mirror a little bit, slowly walking. Do you do anything?
Throw my stone.
You throw the stone, and as
Yep.
you throw it towards Kazim, this
I throw it
weird
at the
purple
mirror.
wall,
I don't.
this weird
Ah,
purple
shit.
wall in that weird circle bounces the stone back. It doesn't break, but it doesn't seem to do anything. And Kazim, as you see this hand outstretched from your other side, begin beckoning a light, and you hear another voice go, "You will not return!" And you look up and you see this old, kind of human man, long white beard, as you've seen depictions of Palor, standing above you, and he starts beckoning this light towards, and the little dot in front of you begins to close just a little bit. You hear the other voice of this mysterious man, of this mysterious creature being, start going, you will not hold me forever. I will return." And it starts going quieter and quieter and quieter as it begins to close. and in front of Silas, Mistrix, and Nico, you see the mirror shatter. It just shatters and falls into it, and all of a sudden the magic just crumples beneath it. And Kazim, you were out of your little trance, and you see what you were inches away from touching the mirror. Inches. You were very close to touching it, and it's gone.
Is the rose quartz still atop the mirror?
It completely shattered and it crumbled upon itself. You see what used to be the top of this mirror. You see the rose quartz perfectly intact, glowing bright purple, almost radiating purple. And you hear a voice in the back of your head go, "In time, you will learn what this means." And it fades away.
I go to pick up the quartz.
You go to pick up the quartz?
Yep.
All right, so you just walk on up and you go to grab the thing, and it kind of shocks you a little bit. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure thing, pal. Oh. That's that one.
So because it's a natural one, you instantly go into a rage and you turn on Kazim, and please make an attack with advantage.
Can I have the rock?
He's got to attack you first. You had two. You've only used one. You have another one.
I do have one more. He's got one on him still.
But
It's
he
on the floor.
from
It's on the floor.
And from his perspective, you have just... So what you see, Silas, as you touched it, and you turn around and you see what used to be Kazim, you see a very familiar human man with glowing purple eyes smiling at you.
Shit, Silas could actually kill me here. Hey, are Silas's eyes purple?
Yes, they are.
Cool.
Gosh, we're friends, right?
We were friends. Now you're about to kill me.
That's not 20.
Oh, hell yeah. Using my fancy little emblem, my last charge on it today to turn that into a regular attack.
Okay.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Glad I kept that on the back.
So what's the damage?
Damage is 10 still.
Just 10 damage. I'm still standing.
All right. If everyone could please roll for initiative.
Oh my god.
Oh, just using up my second rage.
Yeah, it's gone.
Cool. Yep.
22.
Cool. Shit.
Who just got 22?
Me. It's an
Okay.
18 with a +4.
Oh, I'm just
I got
rolling the
7.
website. It's fine. That's a 9. I'm just rolling the website.
And okay, so if I got that right, Mistrix, you got 22. Nico, you got 21, right?
Yes.
Kazim, you got 7. Silas, you got 9.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go with Mistrix first. What would you like to do? You just saw all of a sudden Silas has turned around and attacked Kazim and hit him quite powerfully with his glaive. And you see this huge green glow vibrating off of his back, and you see the anger and hatred, and you can realize that he has no control over his anger now, and you see it bulging out of his muscles, and you see that there's nothing but pure hatred radiating off him. It's hot and it's evil. What do you do?
There's only one of two things. Let's see. Okay, so I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cast my unseen servant
Okay.
and put it here. Like, right, well, if it's gonna ping. You're not gonna ping, are you? You're gonna just be a douche. You're not gonna ping. Okay, well, I'm gonna put it right here. There we go. that spot
Okay.
next to him. And I'm going to basically the unseen servant isn't really good for much, but he has 10 AC, so woo, and 1 hit point. And he does very basic tasks, and his very basic task is to mock Silas, just to get his attention.
He's gonna mock him.
Yes, just to get his attention.
Okay. Trying to think if there's gonna be any kind of roll for that to see if you can grab his attention. Let's do a performance check for this little unseen servant. There's not gonna be any modifier for it because it doesn't have those stats.
Okay, so I'm just rolling a d20 for it.
Straight d20 and tell me what it is.
12.
So, Silas, you hear this weird kind of ethereal voice in the back of your mind going, "Look at him, so weak, so weak," and it does nothing but put you in even more of a rage as you look upon this human in front of you.
The human that I see Kazim as,
God damn it, I tried.
were they there that night?
As you remember, they were the reason it happened.
God damn it.
I tried, I'm sorry.
So, next
I'm 100%.
we're going to Nico next.
Nico's gonna fucking back off. His max movement.
He's abandoning you.
What he will do, basically, technically aiming for his face, he will shoot an Eldritch Blast at Silas.
Roll for the attack.
Josh, about that TPK.
Yeah, you didn't know you were gonna do it yourself, did you?
I wasn't expecting
13.
you to do it to me, Silas.
Well, that does not hit. Don't you get 2 Eldritch Blasts? Or am I wrong?
That's only at
Not on second level, I
5.
don't think
That's
so.
at level 5.
Okay. So you kind of back up a little worried. You don't understand what is going on, and you back up and you try and hold your Eldritch Blast to release it, but you're too worried about hurting your friend, so you kind of beams off to the side, almost as if a warning shot. Silas, you don't fucking notice this. You don't care. Silas, it's your turn. Staring at the human, as far as you are concerned, is the reason your tribe is dead. What do you do?
I look at the thought human is Kazim. You will pay. You took my wife. You took my son. I will take you.
Do I hear him say all this?
You do. He's saying it directly to you.
That to you.
Can I respond back to that?
If you'd like to.
It's me. It's Kazim. Stay with me, buddy.
So, because he said that, Silas, you are welcome to make a wisdom saving throw with an incredibly high DC.
Gonna try, yeah.
Last shot here.
I don't think it's gonna clear it. 16.
It's not enough. You don't. Your words fall on deaf ears, Kazim.
That's a 24.
Oh shit!
That's
not
only gonna barely beat my AC by just 8.
It's not a crit, but it is a 24.
I can almost guarantee I'm down here.
That's 12.
Yep. Fully unconscious.
So
not more than my max, but
so you are in death saving throws, but as you've struck down the friend in which you've trusted, as soon as you deliver that, you bring up your glaive and you go to strike him, and you bring it above your head and you slice down and cry straight across, straight down. You see this deep gash going across your Kazim, and you begin to fade out of consciousness, and everything kind of goes tunnel vision as you black out. Silas, you come to out of the trance and see you attacking and nearly killing your friend. Make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm using this one. That's an 11.
You drop your glaive and you fall to your knees and you go into this weird kind of just trance as you just saw the blood trickling from your weapon of your trusted friend sitting there, unable to move, unable to process what you've just done, thinking that you were getting the revenge for your family in which you've lost, but unfortunately causing yet again more pain and more suffering. If you could please, how am I wanting to do this? You hear a voice in the back of your head, the deep voice, and go, "You haven't lost yet. Hang on to what you have." And all of a sudden, you guys all see this green glow kind of enveloping Silas just a little bit, almost as if it's seeming to give him a hug. And Silas, you feel this. You feel this weird warmth around you as you kind of come back to it as Kazim falls to the ground unconscious.
I mean, I'm gonna do a medicine check.
You can't do anything right
Oh
now.
shit! Cause
Walk over to Kazim. Please. I want to do dashes. I want to go over there. I have a healer's kit, so I can stabilize him.
Yep, absolutely. You're welcome to stabilize him.
I think
Yeah.
I'm next in initiative, so I have to make a saving throw.
Because that took us out of initiative, I will make it so you don't have to do saving throws. I would assume that your friends would see that Silas is just dropped to the ground after realizing what he's done and run over to you to try and establish some kind of healing with you. I feel like they are able to stabilize you.
Okay.
Yeah. So do I delete the med kit?
Yeah. So
Just
go
10
ahead and
users.
roll a medicine check for me. If it's anything below a 10, it destroys the medicines kit.
Okay, I was about to say the stabilization doesn't need that, but okay, medicine kit, got you. And then medicine, so 13.
So you are able to use your wherewithal to be able to figure out how to be able to patch it up, and you still manage to keep some of your supplies in case you want to use it again.
Okay, yay! No death to the bird.
So you guys are all sitting there in this room as your friend has just fallen. He is breathing. He is stabilized. You also have the other lengthy man that is also breathing in the side. Silas, as you kind of come to after hearing the voice, the familiar voice in which you know, realizing what you've done, you do manage to get your bearings back to you.
gonna walk out. Gonna leave.
Wait, are you
I'm going outside. Yep.
Orc? Don't leave. I'm not strong enough to carry 2 people to the medic. Come on.
Nico will follow Silas. He's like,
I have to go do something.
Okay,
"You're just
well
gonna
then.
leave him."
When he wakes up, tell him I'm sorry.
You
Rude.
struck him down. You're gonna leave him and not
You
even
think I don't know that?
sorry in person.
Well, the least you can do is take him to the medic.
Seems tough. He'll be fine.
Says the orc, who just lost his fucking marbles.
Kazim, as you're laying there unconscious, swimming in a sea of black, feels as if you're floating. You see a bright, blinding light in front of you, and a familiar face of that man that has protected you from whatever that being may be. And you hear his booming voice go, "Now is not your time." And he stands there for a second, almost as if he's waiting for some kind of response from you.
I'm gonna turn up to him. Taylor?
You see this bright smile come across as if he's happy to see the recognition of one of his children realizing who's come to protect him. And he bows to you very deeply and very slowly, giving you the feeling that, yes, this is Paylor speaking to you.
Could you give me a hand?
He chuckles a little bit, and he holds out his hand to you, waiting for you to grasp it.
I take his hand.
So, Mistrix and Nico, you see that emblem upon his chest begin to glow a lot, very brightly, but it seems to be this kind of dome kind of over his chest, and Mistrix being right there, you see that the wound on his chest begins to close ever so slightly, just a little bit. And Kazim, you're back up to 1 hit point. And you kind of wake up all of us very suddenly into this room. The circle that's been around you has dissipated, and it's just an engraving now.
Still prone, I assume?
Yeah, you're laying down as Mistrix has got you in her arms as she's trying to figure out what she should do next, trying to hold the wound closed.
Is Silas still in the room?
No, Silas is left.
I'm gonna get up.
Okay.
Okay. Alive then? All right.
So you feel that it's very, very hard for you to get up. You feel aching all over, but you are able to manage to pull yourself up with the help of Mistrix.
Your orc friend raged out of the room. Not particularly the rage that he induced on you, but yeah.
I understand. Knowing that he struck me must have been too much. I want to look around on the floor really quick, see if I see the gem.
You do see the gem that Silas is trying to throw and trying to save you, and it's laying on the ground, just out in the open. You're very easily able to go pick it up.
Is it still glowing that purple?
So it's still glowing, but not nearly as bright as it was. It seems as if it had maybe one more charge, and perhaps it got a lot of its most magic from the mirror itself.
Is there like in that next room? There's like a rug on the floor, right?
Are you talking about the room that you guys haven't gone in through that doorway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do see that there is just a little creeping of a blue kind of rug there.
I want to grab that and kind of I want to push the broken mirror onto the floor and just kind of cover it up with the entire situation up with the rug, the gem and all.
I assume that you guys are helping with this.
I mean, do we need to take the gem with us?
It's too dangerous to touch it.
I can use my drumsticks to probably put it in a bag if we need to.
We have no reason to believe that the magic wouldn't still affect you, let alone if you were to accidentally drop it and drop it on yourself.
I'm
It's
pretty
too
sure
dangerous.
I'm tall enough you could take me.
I don't want to risk it.
Would you like for me to find a spot and dig a hole for it then?
We truly do not have the time if we want to catch Silas. How long has he been gone?
In your mind, maybe about, you have no idea, but to Mistrix and Nico, it's been about 4 to 5 minutes.
You all can go for him and I can find a hole for this.
Didn't Nico go with him though? Like after him? If I remember correctly.
Did Nico chase?
Yeah, I mean he went after him.
Okay, so
So
Nico,
he-
did you
so
go
he's not in-
did you go as soon as he left?
As soon he started to walk, like storm off, like he was basically like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck? Like,
Okay,
wait up!"
then we'll switch on over to Silas and Nico in the first floor as they're walking out the front door. What's going on between you two?
I'm scribbling a note and leaving it at the door.
And fucking button up the entire fucking day. both of you, like chasing after this something, and just fucking walking off like it's nothing.
You think I'm abandoning you? That's not what's happening. I need to say goodbye. you know,
What
Freya.
of everybody?
You know how you felt when you saw Freya there. How scared you got.
Look the other way.
At least you know she's okay. If you really want to know that badly, if it will help you sleep at night, you can come with me. But that's your choice to make. I've just hurt one of the few people I have left that I can call a friend.
He will look
You-
towards the door leading to the basement, and he will look at you. All right.
So do you guys are you going with him, Nico?
Yeah. Yeah.
Silas will walk to the clearing.
Okay. So we'll go back down to Kazim and Mistrix. Both of your friends have been gone for quite a little bit. So what are you guys doing?
Have we fully covered the mirror and
Yeah,
the...
easily enough. You're able to grab the rug from that extra room, which it just looks like there's a couple bags of storage. There's a little chest in there, and there seems to be a skeleton of someone that's been there for quite a long time. And you're able to pull that rug out and put it over the mirror, and it seems to be covering everything up, including the circle.
Would you mind clearing the fog of war on the room? I'd
Yep.
like to get a closer look at it if I can.
There you go.
Cool. That chest.
Mm-hmm.
Kazim's animalistic interests are getting a hold of him here.
Okay.
As someone who really likes shinies. Can I go over and...
Yeah, you can go ahead and open that chest. So you walk over and you open up the chest, and it seems fairly bare, and it looks like as if it's been broken, like the lock was broken a long time ago, but nothing much was taken out of it. You do manage to find yourself 15 gold, 13 silver, and 5 copper. You also managed to find what looks to be a ledger from possibly whoever was in the corner there. Just a little kind of book, small blue blue binding to it. There's a red ribbon coming out of it with the symbol of the flow actually on front of it.
A book?
Mm-hmm. Just a little book.
I'm
While
100%
he's
taking it.
doing, oh shit!
All right. So
While he's doing,
yeah.
can I make out of one of the old bedrolls a thing to like drag this guy with us?
Yes, you can easily enough. I will. You're able to just kind of wrap around Bon in this bedroll, and you're able to drag him along with you easily.
Okay, good. Small cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot we've got an entire living person to take with us as well.
And I have to help you because you're injured.
I am injured, but stable and walking. Is this book anything special?
No, so after a quick glance over it, you look over at that corpse that's sitting in the corner of the room, and you actually notice what looks to be the tattered remains of the flow. And looking over the book, you're actually able to piece together that essentially that body and this book both belong to the original Marcus, who was killed and replaced by the doppelganger in which you've killed.
Ah, so the Marcus we talked to at the flow. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Because there's no way that guy beat us here. All right.
Oh.
They've been gone for like, what, 5-6 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say about that.
I'm going to give Mistrix a hand with the body and try to make it. I feel like back to the. No, we can't go back to the flow.
Where's
How
the
far are
nearest
we?
medic? Jesus.
Where's what?
Where's the medic?
So, for what you can tell is that there is the closest thing that Kazim is aware of would be the Mortician, which is in the current district. Mistrix, you are aware that there might be some kind of healer that's there during the day in the market, but you aren't really sure of anything. You haven't heard of them really needing one. You do know that the flow has their own kind of healing element to it where they generally use as like a general hospital if they need to, but Kazim, the closest thing that might be able to do anything for it, it would be the mortuary. But as you guys come up to the first floor with pulling Bond behind carefully to make sure that nothing else happens to him, you go to the front door of this building. You see a note with a knife dug into the front of it, and as you look at the note, you see it's in some quickly drawn handwriting, and it says, "I'll be at the clearing. Tasha knows the way."
Mistrix. Would I know Mistrix's name at this point?
I would assume it's been said at some point.
I mean, I am the bard at the inn, so
Touche.
you could literally
I
call
am
me.
also incredibly new to town. Mistrix,
Yes.
we can't go to the flow. I don't know who we can trust other than one.
Okay. Do you have a better idea?
Let's go talk to Tasha. See if we can shack up for the night.
Do you want to go back to the water wheel and drag this log with us the entire way?
Let's drop him at the mortuary.
Okay.
Knock on the door, see if the Nightman's home.
But what about the shiny human creature? Nico, I think they said their name was. It went with the orc.
They left with the orc. We'll find them with the orc.
Well, if he raged on you, what's to say he's not going to rage on the child?
He left as soon as he struck me down.
You all have a lot of faith in a lot of weird places. She's just going to start pulling the fucking body.
So you guys are easily enough with Kazim's direction able to bring it to the mortuary. You bang on the door and you hear that familiar older goblin. He seems to work quite long hours and he goes, I'm coming. What has seemed to happen here?
Big bluish blonde things and lots of destruction.
So he kind of looks at the body after that description, kind of looks puzzled at this tabaxi, and kind of looks over to the familiar Aarakocra as kind of like clarification. Is like, what?
It's not important. He's not dead, so a little less paperwork for you to take care of. Can you watch over him just for the night? I'll be back in the morning.
I have the place that I can keep him safe. I will help him get back on his feet. And he kind of starts trying to pull this big old human into it, and yeah, easily enough, he's able to take in Bond.
And I'm just gonna make my way over to the water wheel.
Okay, Mistrix, are you going with?
I mean, first she's gonna like watch him start to saunter off and be like, well then, and just follow.
Okay, so are you guys go walking back to the water wheel? You're seeing the bloodstains in which Mistrix you're familiar with because you followed along with Nico as you make your way back to the water wheel, and you see that Tasha's kind of beginning to clean up shop as you open up the door and goes, "Welcome. What has happened to you? Mistrix, what has happened?"
Scary creatures and an angry orc.
Yeah, well, they probably weren't as scared as you.
I wasn't scared. I was helpful. Thank you.
She offers a drink to you both. He goes, where's the other two?
At the clearing?
You kind of see this kind of look of surprise come upon her face, and then understanding beginning to come along with that. And she goes, something happened with Silas, huh?
The big gork? Yeah. And she's gonna point at Kazim.
You can go if
It
you
was-
want. You might need to go see what happens. And she kind of draws you a very quick little map from the entrance of River's Run from the Bank District over, and she goes, that's where he's going to be. No doubt in her voice whatsoever as soon as you said the clearing. No doubt whatsoever.
Karma, let me ask you a very quick question.
Yes, sir.
How do you... are healing potions a thing in this city?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that something Tasha might have under the table?
She wouldn't have it, but if you ask her about it, she might know where to go.
Paylor, forgive me. Tasha, do you know of any alchemists' shops nearby?
Actually, I do. There's one right down the way. You're gonna go down the street, and you're gonna go ahead and take a left right there. You'll see the Mortar and Pestle, right there. That's the shop's name, and there's the sign of the Mortar and Pestle. Go talk and ask for Keithan, and he will help you out.
Are they open this late?
He's kind of always open. He also has an apprentice that kind of helps during the night as well. So someone's always there because he also supplies health potions for the guards and stuff in case stuff happens. He's kind of always running.
So you're saying pickpocket a guard on the way. Sounds fun.
We don't need to pickpocket. I can just ask for one and give him money for it.
Adventurers are very by law nowadays.
Well, I've got the coin. It's not an issue of crime of whatever. Let's just go find a guard on our way.
You guys just go over to the apothecary.
How far out of town do we have to go to get to the clearing?
You can tell that based on the map and what she described to you, it's probably going to take about an hour or two once you leave town. It's not crazy far away. It's not close though.
Instead of going to the apothecary, I'm just going to go find a guard on the way towards where we're supposed to be going.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm totally gonna grab my viol on the way out.
Okay. So as you guys are,
You know what?
as you guys are walking out of town, you pass plenty of guards. You just pick a random one and you can talk to him. And he goes, "Can I help you?"
Do you have a health potion on you, sir?
I do, but I don't know if I'm able to just kind of give that out to anyone.
I'm going to show him my badge and just hand him a gold piece.
So he kind of looks at the badge of the flow, and he kind of looks puzzled at the gold piece and goes, you can keep the gold piece. The quartermaster will just give me another one, and he hands you a health potion.
I'm going to make sure I palm the gold piece into his hand as I down the potion.
Okay, so he, without realizing it, he grabs it and he kind of goes, just kind of nods at you as you down your potion.
See?
So as you
Guards.
guys are walking, you leave from the main bank district to out towards the way that Tasha has told you that you're supposed to go, and you start making your way due east, just east of the entrance. You start walking, you see this beautiful forest kind of in front of you. It's kind of a ways out from the grasslands, but you manage to kind of go into this woodland area. There seems to be this small, better word, lack of a better term, a hunting trail for it. You start walking, trees everywhere. There seems to be, you see the footprints leading this way, and you start beginning to notice that the trees, as you're going about an hour or so past when you started, start clearing more and more and more until you get to this big open clearing surrounded by trees. It's beautiful. There's flowers all over the place, but what you do notice in the middle is a bunch of destroyed, burnt tents, kind of in a circle. Not the biggest town, but you do notice, and in the middle of that, you see the ASMR standing over your orc friend on his knees, hands against the ground. And there's Silas and there is Nico as they sit in the middle of this destroyed encampment. Silas and Nico, what are you guys up to?
So, what Nico will sort of see as we've walked into the center of Zenok is 26 sort of buried graves. Very haphazardly done, each marked with a weapon for a gravestone, and sort of stones spelling out initials of names. And Silas is specifically sitting in front of two, one very much smaller than the other. And he's not crying, but you can kind of hear this heaviness in his breathing. And he just keeps muttering over and over and over again, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I should have been here.
I'm gonna kneel next to Silas
I think
and
that-
silently, I'm gonna light some incense and just pray next to him.
Okay. Nico, do you do anything?
He's just he put his hand on like Silas' shoulder, like very hesitantly, just barely touching, and he's just holding it there, looking off into the distance. He's not looking at Silas nor the grave.
Silas, as you're sitting there and you're crying, you feel this presence. It's familiar, it's warm, and it's sad. Very sad. You hear this light, familiar voice mixed with another deep, booming voice, mixed with a voice that you haven't quite heard yet. And you hear them all at one time say, live. Live for us. Don't forget us. And as you look up at each one of those graves in which you see a weapon, you swear that you can see just the small little outline of a very familiar female orc holding this beautiful child next to a proud war chief. And well, you guys don't see these people standing here, but what you do see is a single dog, it seems to be a stray dog, walking up straight to Silas all of a sudden, and begins to lick his face and kind of curl up in the middle of you guys. And Silas, you immediately, for whatever reason, this dog feels familiar, very familiar. You aren't sure why. You've never seen this dog before, but it seems intent on staying. And Trix, you feel a song in the back of your head beginning to form that this dog seems to remind you of.
I'm definitely going to play that song.
Okay. So she pulls out, you see that this bard pulls out this instrument and begins playing a song which, Silas, you actually heard 3 nights prior to the event. And it brings you comfort, it brings you warmth, it brings you peace. And you hear in the back of your voice, that back of your head, that one deep, booming voice, and says, "They're with me. I'll watch them. they'll be waiting.
Without kind of looking at the group, he'll just kind of look up at the horizon. He would have been born next month. And he will just kind of pet the dog a little bit and pull out his horn that he's had strapped to his side and just sort of let out the loudest call he can using it, just a sort of sign of remembrance.
And as you hear this horn bellowing out through the trees, and you hear the birds fluttering away from the loud noise, you see that green glow from his back begin to glow just a bit. And then all four of you can swear that you just see the outline of this small little tribe of orcs surrounding you as they kneel before Silas as he blows out. And as soon as the horn ends its sound, they all dissipate. And you see what looks to be green embers floating off into the wind over the trees and sailing off over the horizon.
Silas will look at Nico. I'll make sure what happened to Rokan doesn't happen to Freya. You have my word.
Nico's hand sort of just where he's touching his shoulder just squeezes a bit harder, and he looks him straight in the eye. He's tears forming at the corners of his eyes. He just looks at you. I'm sorry.
Couldn't have known. I wasn't there that night, but I'm here now. I will make sure this stops. And I'll turn to Kazim. I will make sure you see your investigation to the end.
I'm gonna look up to Silas, put a hand on his shoulder. I'm sorry. Just promise you won't run off again.
Only to chase your feathered ass.
Nobody gets away from me that easy. And I'll stand up, put out the incense, and who wants to go kick some church ass?
I always had a bad feeling about that guy. And he'll sort of raise his glaive and his 3 remaining javelins.
Silas, one thing you did notice as you pick up your glaive, you do see 2 feathers miraculously all of a sudden tied to close to the head of the glaive, one larger and one smaller, and for some reason those bring you comfort.
I will gently run the blade across my palm to let off this sort of small cut, squeeze the blood in my hand, and put a handprint over where my heart would be.
All right, are we heading back to town now?
I follow Kazim.
Go back to the flow.
Nico just looks at Kazim like.
Do we maybe want to?
jokingly-
Do we maybe want a
Yeah.
long rest first? Because I feel like we're all out of there.
Where else
Yeah.
are we gonna go, realistically?
On
I-
the note of that, Nico would just shove like Kazim like on the shoulder and be like, "Dude, you can barely fucking walk. The fuck are you talking about?"
Here's what I'm thinking. Well, I'm feeling a lot better after that healing potion. Here's what I'm thinking. We go back to the flow. We spend the night in our heavily guarded rooms. I'm gonna be bunking in one of the other three, leaving mine completely empty because I don't want to take that shot. Let's. And then in the morning, we'll get up bright and early. We'll have some breakfast. We'll step on Marcus a couple of times, and then we'll deal it with the Archmage.
But like, this is a bit big. Just the four of us. You know, like, I don't know if you've noticed, it was kind of like, you know, the whole town situation. We can't just fucking walk in and like, what? Slap it? we can't do that.
We're not gonna do anything unsubstantiated. Like, we've seen Marcus's corpse. If we see Marcus, we'll play friendly. And then the next day, we'll just talk to the Archie and we'll be like, hey, by the way, just a heads up, thought you should know. We saw a dead body that belonged to Marcus. You know, that guy that's standing over there. Figured we might just bring it to your attention.
The thing is, Marcus didn't have the purple eyes.
Marcus didn't have the purple eyes, but he doesn't have two bodies.
But what I'm also thinking is, if he didn't have the purple eyes, who else doesn't have the purple eyes? How deep does this go? Who can we trust?
What if your archmagey buddy is in on it all?
I'm counting on that.
He kind of has the entire city guard in his pocket.
The city guard doesn't do much with an arrow in your forehead. Just saying.
But they're one hell of a buffer in bulk. And you've had them bring all of these guards to the place where you want to confront your supposed big bad, which in most of the songs and tales doesn't work out very well.
They're up in the dormitory. I'm sure we can figure out something, but we've got 3 bedrooms. We could always go to Tasha's, stay there for the night. I don't know how well that'll work. They know we've been to Tasha's. They've been keeping an eye on us, and Tasha's is less heavily guarded.
The way I see it is either Tasha is strong enough to keep us all safe, or if she's one of them, we're already dead.
And
Or-
on the other hand, it's either the guards will help us, or they're going to kill us anyway. It's a catch-22 here. We can always sleep in the
plan
woods.
now.
I'm more apt to trust Tasha.
I mean, if it made everyone more comfortable, I'm sure I could fix up some of the tents. As
Just
a
no
third option.
campfires.
I've had more than enough fire for a lifetime. We have 3 options. Tasha's, the Flow, or Zenok. All I know is
Camping-
I'm taking first watch wherever we are.
We can't go to anyone with this, can we?
Here's an idea. What if we take a day away from the city? We sneak our way back in and see how the Archie may have reacted to my disappearance as well as yours, Silas. See if that has any telling changes in the way he reacts.
This Archie you were speaking of, does he know just the 2 of you?
I
Would he
don't know that he's
recognize
seen the
either-
bard.
I mean, I don't really spend much time here in the town, like, only from, like,
We have
once upon
we have no reason to currently believe that he knows we are either safe, alive, or partied up with the 2 of you.
The devil's
I wouldn't
advocate.
say that.
The
like-
devil's advocate for that is we have been seen by a lot of people
Yeah,
talking
yes,
to a lot
that's
of other
true.
people. I'm not saying they would, but if they wanted to come for us, Nico's got a weakness in Freya. You've got a weakness in Nathan. Me and Trex here both have a weakness in Tasha.
That's what I'm saying. If they think we're dead because we've been missing for a full 24 hours,
No, I have an
what
idea.
reason would they have to attack our loved ones?
I have a strange idea. They don't know that I'm with you guys. They know that I appeared with the Dark One over there and went away. But I am a cat, and cats do tend to wander. So I could wander back into town and give some sort of rumor that you all have went off looking for the shiny thing that you shattered. Because that was indeed what you were initially doing, was looking for the shiny mirror.
Got a point. The three of us hide out here for a day. The bard does a little
I
bit
can
of
always-
reconnaissance.
That may work, but if Mistrix here finds themselves in a tight situation, we will be out of town.
I'll be fine.
Split
They
the
don't
party
know
again.
that I know these things.
What was that, Karma?
So go ahead, split the party again. That worked out well for you guys.
Karma's gonna take the chaos again.
Right, they don't know that I'm actually part of the... So it's okay.
My only concern is I assume you got my note and went to Tasha.
We never took the note.
Wait,
No,
I have,
but you-
I
but
have
you-
an
you
idea
got-
actually.
You got my note and went to Tasha to find out where I was.
Yes.
So
So
Tasha
they know
knows.
we're here.
Tasha
Yes,
knows.
but if I return,
And if we
Karma. Kazim would like to fly into the air and see if he can see anybody following us.
Okay, go ahead. Fly up in the air and use a perception check.
Can it be investigation? It's the same number, never mind. I knew I had expertise in it. I thought it was a +7. How's a 17?
Okay, so you maybe you're very confident that there's not anyone that followed you guys at all. You're almost 100% confident. You do see a carriage, a single carriage, leaving River's Run through the gate, heading towards the Crimson Mountain Range.
But that's not coming towards us, is it?
No, it's going almost in the opposite direction. You guys are east, it's going due north.
I'm gonna land.
Okay.
What, the odds that carriage is like the most important thing.
We'll probably find it later on, like 7 episodes in, and Karma's
Yeah.
just gonna be like, "Hey, remember that one carriage that went nowhere?"
Turns out it was a mimic, and it was there to kill your entire family.
Yeah.
They had
Oh.
a copy of the mirror in that carriage the whole time. Yeah, cool.
But the plan with you going out there alone, actually, you don't have to go alone. Nico will he will like pull out his necklace from beneath his shirt, and he will look it down at it, and if you promise to hold on to it and make sure it's safe, when you'll be actually walking around the town, I'll be with you. And if you do need help, I'll be there.
that seems fair to me if it's fair to you all.
I mean, it's better than just her going alone, isn't it?
And we can be at the city walls at the first crack of light just to be safe.
I don't want to
Just
send somebody
try to be
alone here.
She's not going
I will
alone. I'll
sneak
be
back
there with her.
after I start the rumor that you all went on an adventure. It's fine.
Does anybody have any way to magically disguise us? Either disguise kit or
We have a
disguise
disguise
person.
suit.
I can disguise myself, but
And
that
I have a
won't work. I can only do that once, and it only lasts for a couple of hours.
And as to answer your question, Nico sort of holds up the necklace, takes it off his head, almost passes it over to Mr. X, and as he's dropping it, he kind of gets just sucked into the necklace, and it just drops onto her hand, and Nico is gone.
So as you guys, you guys are all watching this, and you see Nico grab the necklace and put it down. And as soon as Nico lets go of the necklace, this blue smoke comes up and envelops Nico's arm and envelops the entire body. And as it dissipates, you realize Nico's no longer there.
Oh, okay, here's the thing. How do we get...
After a couple seconds, he just pops back out, and out of the necklace, he
Yep. And
pulls
just
it back.
as if it was almost in reverse, you guys all of a sudden see the smoke starting to come back out and start forming into this rough shape and then finally solidifying into Nico.
I mean, we get 3 wishes.
No, look,
Fucking genie.
I can hear everything that goes around me when I'm in there. I will be able, if anything happens, I will be able to just, in a span of just like that, I will be able to be there and help you. I won't be able to see, but I will be able to hear you. If you need help, all you will have to do is just shout my name and I will be there.
Just to clarify, this isn't like a magic word scenario. Somebody says your name, you're under their control
No,
kind of thing.
No,
Okay.
no.
We've had enough control persons going on.
It's a bit different.
A gift,
I mean,
I presume.
Nico will look at Silas and nod his head.
So in that case, I take the dark one who can turn into a crystal, and the birdman and the orc stay in the park.
No, what we're gonna do, we're gonna stay here, rest, and in the morning, you and I will go off. You'll take me in the form of the necklace. They will be at the ready. We do need to rest. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I can still fucking feel. Just, yeah, it hurts.
I've
Dude,
been
what the
unconscious
fuck?
for a while.
How
Like,
are you fucking walking like it's nothing?
magical healing mostly. Definitely is. I'm not fine. I'm stable. I'm walking. There's a difference.
Should absolutely fucking just.
Let's take a nap, huh?
You guys have just
Yes.
realized that Kazim has been holding onto his stomach this entire time, trying to keep
A little bit of bleeding. Not
trying to
much.
keep himself together.
I'm gonna go prepare and try and fix up as best I can.
Easily enough.
For
There were
the
some
tents.
there were some tents that were still relatively untouched. You're able to kind of patch together some simple
Yeah.
tents for everyone to do. Is everyone kind of sleeping at the same time? Are we leaving watch? What are we doing? How are we setting this up?
I'm taking first watch because I know the lay of the land.
Okay. So
I'm doing my regular patrols as though nothing ever happened.
so
I have a thing somewhere
mm,
that lets me sing them to sleep, and if they regain health and stuff, it does good stuff for them.
okay.
I also
Song
have
of Rest.
Shelter of the Faithful. Song of Rest, isn't that a short rest ability?
All it says is if you or any friendly creature who can hear your performance regain hit points at the end of the short rest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a short.
For me, that'd be fine. By spending 1 or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 of hit points.
Here's also an option. Is there a temple in this clearing?
Well, I'm thinking we do sleep in shifts, and I do a short rest.
There is there is a Hall of the Gods I can take you to.
We can not only take the short rest and the Song of Healing. If you use components for the Song of Healing, or if it's a one-time use thing, I have Shelter of the Faithful, which I can just heal us without using a spell slot, as though I was using a spell slot, as long as I use the material components in a temple.
My thinking is also the long rest will give us our stuff back, which we may need if we're going to war with the flow.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Man,
Because you were saying at the beginning of that last fight, you've got like no spell slots.
Legitimately 0 spell slots. Correct.
So I think a long rest is best.
yeah.
We can sort of
I'll go on adventures.
So we're doing a long
long-
rest.
if we all take a 2-hour shift, we should be fine.
Yeah, you guys all know you can easily all take 2-hour shifts and get your long rest within 8 hours. You guys will be fine
Yeah.
by the time the morning will come. So if that's what you guys want to do, we can do that.
Until
Really,
we find
within
one.
8 hours, we could all take a 2-hour shift and get a long rest?
Yep, I will allow
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
if you think like 6 hours sleep and then 2 hours of just
Yeah,
like
so
sitting
the way
around
I
and
see a
making sure
long rest
everything's
is
okay.
essentially 8 hours of doing nothing, essentially. As long as you sleep for most of it and you could sit and watch for the other part of it, I will allow it to be in 8 hours.
Well, that's assuming nothing comes up on us while we are taking this long rest.
Yeah, but
I'm fairly confident we're fine,
Yeah.
but
How
And plus,
bad do you
it's
think I want to
better-
kill you guys?
very,
bad.
Carmen, very.
Well, my thing it is, would we rather risk a little, like, having people on watch and, have people maybe come at us, but at least we can be prepared for it, or all of us sleep and they just stab us in the night?
We got to bring our A game. Either way, we're risking our lives. We've got to bring our A game tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
so long rest it is. So
Um,
so Silas is very easily able to set up nice uh, serviceable accommodations for you guys in the tents of his lost tribe. As you guys all settle down in bed for your night, we're going to start off with Silas as it's around, I'd say, 9 o'clock at night. The sun is fairly set. Stars are beginning to come out, beautiful and bright. Silas, if you want to make a perception check for me.
yep, sure thing, Loth.
really quick before we all go to sleep, I want to make sure that whoever is on watch has one of those rocks, as well as myself.
Oh,
Okay.
so I've still got mine, so I will just, whoever is on next watch, I'll just pass it on and tell them to do the same. It's a 19 on perception.
So, the 2 hours passed very easily. You see the stars, beautiful in the night sky. It's dark, they're bright and vibrant. You do feel a sense of calming being in your tribe again, though sad as it may be. You do see the light embers of what looks to be shooting stars, but a very vibrant green, almost as if to give you kind of a sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, your portion comes easily enough. Nothing seems to happen. The dog does kind of sit in your guys' tent, almost as if kind of a protector to help you guys out. It lays next to you, cuddling up, trying to give you some comfort, feeling the pain in which you're feeling yourself.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, who's gonna go next?
Nico will
I can go.
never fucking do a morning shift. So you better, guys, keep that in track.
Nico's gonna
No.
go next.
And I
He will
will,
never do the fucking last shift. No way. He's not
I
a morning
will,
person, bitches.
I will give Nico the little blue stone and sort of nod in thanks for understanding the situation, and then go to bed. Not in my old tent.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
you very
Fuck
clearly try to
that.
avoid it as much as possible. That
Yeah.
Nico, you do notice that as he's walking to a tent to go sleep, you do see that there is one tent and kind of in the middle of the arrangement in which he gives a wide berth to. You're not too sure why, but you do see that he avoids it at absolutely all costs. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Perception, huh? Natural 20.
Natural 20 again. A very easy, smooth sailing. Nothing seems to happen. The dog cuddles up with you. Once again, the sky is beautiful and clear as it approaches around 2:30 in the morning. And as your time begins to kind of end, you swear that at some point you did see a large orc with this kind of ritualistic armor sitting upon the burnt throne at the head of the campfire. You swear you saw it, but it was only for a second at the corner of your eye. And as you go, wake up the next person so you can go down to bed. Who's next?
Kazim is definitely going last.
Okay, so
Okay, that's fine. I can play songs for you guys while you sleep, so woo.
all right. So as Nico goes to wake up Mistrix from their sleep to wake up Mistrix, go ahead and make a perception check.
16.
16. Okay. So again, smooth sailing. Nothing seems to be happening. It's very quiet in this area. You feel like you'd be able to hear stuff, and the dog is just kind of sitting at your feet, kind of wagging its tail. It's gotten lots of rest as it's keeping a nose to the sky and an eye out for anything that could be happening, but nothing happens. And if there's nothing else that you would like to do, we're going to pass it on over to Kazim for the last watch as it begins to encroach on, let's see, what did I said, 9. So you guys are going to wake up around like 5 in the morning. So we're encroaching right around 3 in the morning. So Kazim, you're on for the last 2 hours.
Perception check or
Yes, please. Perception check.
That's a natural 1.
So Kazim passes the fuck out. He is asleep by the time you guys wake up. Luckily enough, nothing seems to happen as Silas, you're woken up by the licks of the wet tongue and nose of the dog. And you guys slept in a little bit. It seems to be about 6 o'clock. The sun is beginning to crest over the mountains. You guys see beautiful pink, blue, and red sunrise coming over the horizon. And a beautiful day is upon you guys. You guys are all fully rested.
Hell yeah.
Immediately, I'll pet the dog a little bit, but I'll sort of hold my glaive in my hand and do a little prayer to Shagras for, giving us a peaceful night and hoping that the dead have rested better than I have.
You do
Quite
look
honestly.
over on the graves in which you've set up for your fallen comrades, and you do see that on 2 of them, the 2 that are most important to you, have a single red flower on top of them, growing, it seems. Something seems to be sprouting over there.
Thank you, Shardgas. I won't let you down again. And I will get up and go using some of my rations to prepare breakfast for everyone, because I don't think they know how to cook the way an orc cooks.
Alright, so Silas begins to kind of rummage around and start getting a campfire all together for you guys and begins preparing you guys a proper, hearty breakfast that you guys have probably never had before. What are you guys doing in the morning? Anything specific? You guys have morning rituals you want to get together?
I start praying to my Lord.
Okay.
So right before you actually wake up, Kazim, you do hear the voice of Palor in your head saying, "Go to the temple in the Crimson Mountains, and I will explain it all."
Road trip.
Not ominous at all.
Do I sense a plot?
It could be a red herring. You have no idea what I have planned.
Hey, Karma.
Mhm.
Can I make an insight check on the god Palor?
You can if you'd like.
I think God's full of shit.
Hey, Karma. How's a 22 suit you?
I'm gonna message you.
Oh no!
So,
I swear if it
while
doesn't
that
mean I'm gonna lose my shit.
happens,
Well, he's been praying to a demon all along.
Yes.
Asmodeus! Asmodeus!
Yeah.
If you pick the one perfect moment to insight that fucked over everything, I swear to God.
I'm gonna
Low
lose
key
my
playing the
shit.
song of false prophets.
What is the bird doing in the morning? While they're whispering.
I'm still passed the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nico also, he's not a morning person. Like, he's just burying his face in the fucking like crook of his arm or whatever.
What you may smell would be like freshly cut rashers of boar, foraged eggs, herbs, a little bit of garlic, and some like root carrot that Silas would have known is in the local area, all just sort of being cooked up and fried on rocks and things like that.
Nico does.
I actually
Well,
prefer
good
my
food.
eggs neat, not on the rocks, but
You guys sit as Silas.
Would you like your bacon
very-
shaken with that?
Silas very proudly cooks you guys a delicious hearty breakfast, and it is filling, and it is nice to weirdly in this kind of destitute kind of falling apart tribe. It is nice for all of you to feel kind of life and vibrancy to come to it, though it is a solemn and quiet place. It is nice, and especially for Silas, to feel some form of togetherness there and to feel whole for once. And you feel a weird What's that?
Do I know any good orc songs?
Make a history check.
Ooh. Oh, I haven't used history in a hot damn minute. Okay, it's a plus 4. That's not bad. Not bad. Okay, hold on. 22.
You actually know a very common kind of it's a song that they generally teach children, which is, it's almost like a nursery rhyme. It's called the Morning Hunt. It's a song about the first orcs when they're first getting their bearings in a new land in which they're establishing themselves, and the feeling of what it's like to, how do I put it, to achieve their first actual hunt and becoming one with the land. And Silas, you actually sang this song plenty of times to the stomach of your wife to try and establish and it is a very familiar, great song that you do cherish quite dearly.
If I hear Trixie playing it, I am going to start pulling out my horn and sort of lightly playing along to it as well.
Yep, that is something that you do notice, is that immediately Silas picks up on the song that you're playing.
Would I play it with my drum or would I play it with my lute?
You'd play
That's
it with
the true question.
You'd play it with your lute.
Okay, I was about to say, because remember the tiny drum.
Yeah.
Never forget.
So, if there's nothing else that you guys would like to do, what is the next on the agenda for you guys? What are you wanting to go figure out?
I have to go spread rumor.
You have to go spread rumors?
Nico has to go play bodyguard.
Yes.
And I think, Silas will kind of look over to Nico and Trix and sort of say, "You ready?"
Can fucking be, I suppose.
So if I'm not mistaken, Silas and Kazim are going to be staying here where you guys go do stuff, right?
Well, I think we're going to sort of be near-ish to the city.
Okay.
So that if there is an emergency, there's a chance that we might kind of
Being
get...
that you've been in this area for a very long time, Silas, that you do know that you're probably getting the best place that you know that's going to be closest to the city is probably the tree line that's over by River's Bed. It's kind of just on the outskirts of the farms that are down there. That's usually where you guys kind of go meet up with Tasha prior to the incident to be able to kind of trade and that was your primary trading routes. That's where you guys are probably going to go hide out in case anything happens. You wouldn't know about it.
I know it well. So I'll kind of look to Kazim and sort of go, I know a place we can stake out for a little while. And I'll sort of turn to Nico and Trix. On the edge of the farms, where the farmland meets the city, you'll see a tree line that kind of runs over the boundaries. That's where I will position myself in Kazim.
Okay.
If you
So-
look for the big windmill, you can't miss it.
How will we signal you if we need you?
Cast a spell directly into the sky. Not many people do that these days.
Well, if we are indeed in danger, and I assume you've seen the pew pew I sometimes do, you'll be able to spot it easily enough.
With Kazim's eyes, I have no doubt.
One
We're
thing I
really
will
doing this,
say-
aren't we?
Do not needlessly engage with any enemies. Do
No,
not
believe me,
follow
not
someone if they
planning
beckon
on.
you to follow.
I'm the one
God,
walking. No, no.
why do I feel offended?
Just covering my bases here.
Wow,
also
it's
don't know
almost
the
like you
people
guys
who-
told me to keep an eye out on the fucking guy or something, you know?
Keep an eye out. Don't follow him into a back alley by yourself.
You
Well-
know the guards, and the best way to keep an eye on someone is to follow them, isn't it?
No one died
Right now-
other than me, so we're cool.
Get in the crystal. I'm leaving.
Oh shit! I told the mortician I'd be back in the morning.
Oops.
Adds to the
Yeah, he'll be
rumor.
fine. He'll be
Adds to
fine.
the
Do you-
that adds to the rumor that you might be
I
dead.
did. That does.
Okay. So you
Nico
guys
will
are.
run after the cat and turn it to Nicholas.
Okay, just to clarify before I actually leave,
Uh-huh.
would your rumor be that you are all dead?
At least
Oh.
Kazim.
Oh
At
no.
the very least,
Okay.
convince them that the orc killed Kazim.
An orc killed Kazim.
Sure, if that works.
Tasha won't like that insinuation.
Tasha will know the truth if it's the real Tasha.
Okay, so we'll stick with Silas killed the bird.
I like how we're immediately like, I don't know who's real. Everyone's everyone's fake.
Well, that's the thing.
Doppelgangers at us, man.
Yeah, we now know that not everybody visibly has purple eyes because we've spoken to Marcus and he didn't have the purple eyes.
And he was also
So the rumor-
apparently dead for a week.
And the ASMR went missing.
The ASMR went.
Fair enough.
Nicholas. Or...
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something like that. The ASMR went after the orc for revenge or something. Sure.
Okay, fair enough. All right, bye guys. Good luck. Be safe.
I'd say the same to you.
Okay, so we've got
she-
Nico in the necklace still, yeah?
Mhm. He can only hear things, and he
Okay.
can be up there for a total of 4 hours. So you better be quick for this. It's not
Well, I
infinite.
also have a disguise kit that can pop out, so we're okay.
Good.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna like lightly pluck my lute in a sad song as I go through the town, and make up a song about friend's betrayal to kind of go along with the vibe that the bird was killed by the orc.
Okay. So you start. Are you walking to the water wheel, or where are you going?
I'm walking to the water wheel. Yes,
All right.
the
so
best place to speak is the bar.
as you leave the little area in which Silas and Kazim have kind of set themselves up as, you start walking down, and you begin noticing almost immediately as you cross over the kind of fallen rock wall that's around the river's bed, because it's not so much as a security wall as it is kind of more of like a gentle wall. You look over and you see immediately that the carnival has begun packing up in quite a haste, and you start making your way over to the water wheel. As you go in there, it's quiet. It's very quiet. It doesn't seem as lively. It could be because your music was missing this morning, but you open the door and you do see Tasha there and her warm, big smile, and go, "Hi, welcome. Hi, where have you been?"
I'm gonna have kind of the down in the dumps kind of look.
Oh,
And
Trixie, what happened? Are you okay?
well, I've seen some things that I feel ought not be seen by such eyes as mine.
What do you mean, sweetie? You were here last night. It was one night. What happened?
Things went awry in the field.
Wait, are you talking about when you went to the clearing?
Yes.
What? Oh no. Did Silas do something?
Let's say that the bird is no longer his friend and is no longer able to be a bird.
Oh. Oh no. Oh. Is Silas okay? Did he...
As far as I know, he ran off and the exotic one followed him.
You see a single tear kind of, as she's trying to compose herself, you see Tasha start kind of tearing up, feeling like genuine pain coming from her. That's not what she thought. She didn't realize that she was sending that. I sent him to die. What did I do? Oh no.
So Trix is gonna like touch her hand and just kind of like make that eye contact with her of, it's all for the best. Nothing is nigh in the end. To try to like hint at her, things are okay, but you have to go with this.
I would gonna say that she doesn't pick up on that because she knows Silas and she knows what he's like and knows that it's totally possible that someone could have died. So she kind of, but yeah, okay. Oh no. I need to do something. I need to find Silas. And she kind of starts packing up a little bag, and she's calling to the bag and go, Drax, come here, please. This other human starts coming up to talk to her and goes, what's going on? She goes, something's going on with Silas. I have to go find him. I can't leave him out there. He doesn't have anyone. I need to go help him. So he's like, go, absolutely, go. So he starts kind of picking up where she's going, kind of shooing her off as she's beginning to walk out the door.
Okay, so that was not the plan.
You wanted to tell the one fucking person that is still around for Silas that he killed somebody? Really?
I was hoping the mystery would be a bit better on like laying the hints.
To be fair, I didn't think she would, first of all, believe it. Second of all, be actually Tasha.
Hold on.
We can flip this.
Everybody needs to breathe.
Don't worry. This actually works if she follows us.
I'm a bird. I have charisma. We'll be fine. Okay.
Oh, she was gonna be the godmother.
Okay, so I'm gonna like grab her arm and pull her to the side, and kind of look at her and be like, I'll go with you. Just let me do what I have to do first.
She kind of starts tearing up a little bit, and like her hair is all frizzy. She goes, "Okay, I'll meet you here. I'll wait here. Okay.
Wait in my room."
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And she kind of wipes off her tears and stuff as she starts walking up to your room, and you can hear before you even leave that she's pacing back and forth in your room, obviously incredibly stressed by this.
So, with that, we're gonna go kind of tell the city guards to like keep an eye out for a raging orc. That kind of gist.
Okay. Raging. I mean, we're kind of always on the lookout for anyone unorthodox raging with what's going on lately.
Let's say there was a casualty. And it worries me.
I mean, it should. It's a casualty, but okay, yeah, sure. And they just seem to kind of brush it off as like, well, yeah, obviously we'd be looking out for something like that. That's super weird that we wouldn't.
Well, we're just trying to start rumors, so it's okay.
Yeah. You do kind of hear like them talking amongst each other and go, what did that tabaxi want? Something about a raging orc. Does she not know what time we've got going on? Where to next? Oh, we lost Dyer. Josh, your DM now.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so you enter the tavern. There's a boneyard. Good luck.
I cast Fireball. That's always my answer.
20th
Can
level
I
counter.
Can I sneak attack Karma?
Yeah.
That's what you get for taking Rogan, bitch.
Karma, you take 4d20 damage.
Damn it. That is half my AC.
That's a natural 20. That is a 16. That's 17 and a 19.
I
So
rage beyond death.
You take 80 points of bludgeoning damage plus 7.
I'm just bloodied. I'm fine. There we go.
There she is.
Pain.
That's all right. That's all right. Everything's fine.
Okay. We're okay.
All right, where to
So now I've
next?
started my. I'm going to go back to Tasha and take her the way that we agreed to find them.
Okay, so you start bringing Tasha out towards where Kazim and Silas are.
Yes.
Okay, so as you're walking, you kind of hear her kind of frantically go, I shouldn't have sent you guys out there. I should have just gone myself. I knew that he was unsafe. I knew something could have happened. I didn't think it was that bad. What?
I need you to breathe and listen to me when we are outside of the walls.
Okay. So you guys managed to cross after the walls, and she kind of grabs your arms and goes, what is going on? Where is Silas?
He's alive. Everything is fine.
But what about Kazim? Where's he?
Breathe. Trust in me. You've known me since I got here. You know that I spin tales to help.
I also know what happens with Silas. I need to know what's going on with him. He can't be out there by himself. What is happening?
I need you to talk to me in a calm manner. I will lead you to the bird. I will lead you to your orc. Nico understands what's going on. Everything is fine.
Okay.
Just follow me and tell me a tale that only you and Silas would know.
So she starts, as you guys are walking, she starts describing the first time that she met Silas, which was about a week after Ashton passed the law that the unorthodox were allowed to join society. And she begins describing about how it was a young orc. It was about almost 2 or 3 years back that they've known each other. He comes in with absolutely no idea on how bartering in our society kind of works with the gold. And he just kind of walks in with the corpse of a gigantic elk and drops it on my bar, expecting to get liquor out of it. And I was kind of confused. That's why he brings me food, is he didn't understand that that's not what you're supposed to do, but I didn't have the heart to tell him that. So that's been our little bartering secret between the two of us, is he brings me meat, I give him what he needs.
Okay. And with that, I'm hoping they're close enough that the bird and Silas could probably hear to know that she is not a threat.
Yes, they did hear that story.
I'm not going to leave hiding.
I'm going to walk her a little further into the woods and kind of be like, you know, I hear tales that hunters know how to follow prey very easily. Is that something that your orc does?
He is by far the best hunter I have ever met in my life. There is something uncanny about what he's able to do that I've never met another person able to do it.
And when I get a decent ways into the woods that I know that, like, no one is following us except for, like, me and her, and I know Nico's here, and I know that they are somewhere close by, I'm gonna, like, kind of tap the gym and tell Nico that Nico can come back out now.
Yeah, he will absolutely do that.
So in front of Tasha, all of a sudden, this blue smoke starts bellowing from your chest with no idea of where it's coming. Oh my god, are you okay? What is happening? And all of a sudden it starts forming into Nico, and she just kind of stands there in astonished and goes, okay, that's a pretty cool trick.
It is.
I know, right? It is so comfortable there too. My goodness.
But okay, where is Silas? Where is Khazi? Where are they? You told me that you were going to take me to him. Where are they?
What's my son's name?
So, are you trying to say that loud enough for her to hear?
Yes. Because that, for me, is the confirmation that she's a good one.
So she sits there and just kind of smiles and goes, Rogan.
It's safe to come out, Kazim. Trust me.
I'll go down, but I'm arguing as soon as I get around. That is such a terrible way to figure out if they're a doppelganger or not, because as far as we know, like, okay, how do they know, first of all, who that other Azamar was, who Nico's father was? How do they know who?
Because they looked into your eyes. Did you not notice that they were looking into people's eyes when they turned into the other beings?
So they were reading our minds?
So Tasha's completely ignoring both of you and goes over and gives Silas a hug.
He'll hug her back.
Don't you do that to me again.
Storm out anyway.
Give us a chance to explain and maybe you'll understand why.
And she pulls out her big battle axe and goes, you better have a good reason.
I have an idea.
Marcus has, so I'm told, been dead for days.
Bird!
So she sits there and she thinks, Marcus, that's the rude guy from the flow, right? Who came in with Bond? You know, I'm pretty sure I think he came in with the carnival, because he didn't start showing up at my bar until, I want to say, like a day or two after they started bringing in the caravans. It was before they started unloading, but I noticed that he wasn't around town until they came with, so he had to have come in with the carnival. So if he's been dead for a while, it must have been right when he got here.
Excuse the cat,
Fucking owner.
but I have an idea. Mr. Silas, do you have a small knife?
Oh, I love this idea.
Please.
What? Do I? Is the question?
Does anyone have a small knife?
I do not.
Daggers. You can have them. Come on.
Take someone else's dagger so that they know that it's not, any kind of fancy trick. I'm going to walk up, hold my hand out to the lady and say, excuse me, I have a magic trick to show you.
So Tasha, knowing you for a while and trusting you implicitly, just holds out her hand.
I'm going to very gently cut a small line on her thumb.
So you go to chase the dagger and you go to give a quick slice to the thumb and you see that it's normal blood that's coming out. And she goes, ah, you bitch! Slap.
I'm gonna
Right, we can
giggle.
trust her.
I'm gonna giggle and hand the knife
It's
back
cool.
to
It's a
the
natural one. She completely missed you as she's just like, ah, what the hell?
It was the bird understands. Jeez.
Tasha. The reason people have been going crazy is because they are not themselves. Literally. They're being imposed.
What do you mean imposed?
Kazim, you are more educated on these things than I am.
What do you want me to say? They're doppelgangers. They can read minds. They can disguise themselves to look like anybody, mimic voices, mimic memories. The only reason that we have to believe that you're not a doppelganger is that you bleed, which doppelgangers tend not to do.
As she's sucking her thumb, kind of trying to get the blood and trying to get the stop, and goes, I guess that makes sense. She darts a dirty look over it at Trix. She goes, okay.
Hey, look, in all fairness, she's literally gonna take the knife and like cut her own pinky. Blood.
Okay. Well, I feel like if there are doppelgangers going on like in town, I feel like we need to come up with some kind of phrase or something so that we know it's actually a wait. We can't do that because then they're just gonna read our fucking minds. So what do?
We keep knives on us regularly.
Does this count? And she pulls out her battle axe.
If you're willing to cut open your own hand with it, then yes. As long as we have something sharp that we can prove that we can bleed, because would I have any suspicion to believe that they could mimic like a squib or something, like a blood sac?
So you know, all they can do is mimic the look of it. They can only make it like look like it's dripping. But you also know that if you pay close enough attention, it's very easy to tell that it's not actually blood.
Get it. You know? Works too.
Here's something we could consider. Is this a universe that mind flayers exist in?
It sure is.
Oh no.
There's probably, this is metagaming quite a bit, but there's probably helmets or something that can block mind reading and mind flayers' abilities.
Could be.
Would it be fair to assume that we could find something like that in town? Or if not that exactly, an artificer?
Well, so I don't want to tell you without telling you. I'm trying to think how I'm going to word this. You haven't been in town long enough to be able to tell if there's any kind of magical kind of people in town for Kazim specifically. However, all of you have been reminded multiple times of where magical items could fucking be, and I could not have made it any more blatant at where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I am aware.
There's always a chance, but it's a very, keep in mind what you're asking for are very specific magical items. Very specific.
Yes.
Not just like amulets that block mind reading waves or anything. You want a fucking helmet with a specific thing.
Even that,
The helmet was just throwing something
I think
out.
the point Carl was trying to make is there was a bazaar in the festival that is now packing up.
Mhm.
Which I have
Yeah.
been aware about. But Karma, I've been more prioritized about the fact that maybe my best friend is in danger. But yeah, Silas would be aware of the bazaar.
We want to say screw the plan and go check out the carnival.
Well, the carnival's
Just
leaving.
fuck the rumor. Fuck
the plan.
safety.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore. It's kind of
The
been
fucking
ruined.
doppelganger came of the fucking festival. Like, I mean, maybe it's just like fucking like wandering fucking doppelganger just fucking like exploiting them all fucking across the realms. Who fucking
need-
knows?
Here's the thing.
The
If they can
owner could
read
be a fucking
minds,
doppelganger.
I don't know why I thought the plan would work, to be honest with you. They are mind readers. They can just know the plan. I don't know.
Just let's not have one. That's
The plan is a bad idea. Get
It's
that
all
out of the
falling
way.
apart.
All right, let's just go around town and cut everyone.
Yes, that's a great idea. Let's just start killing people in the street.
That's the exact
You can
way to
do it.
prove to people that you're not the bad guy. Just start
You can
slicing
do
people up.
it. Hey, come here, innocent person. We just need to cut your wrist open to prove that you're not an evil alien monster.
Oh
I'm
god.
saying the
Are you guys about to
important
start a
people.
cult?
We will sound schizophrenic, man.
You sound like
The
cultists.
the Archmage, the Round Man, like people like that we know may be tied to the conspiracy.
Worst people to ask, hey, can I cut your hand open really quick?
I'm not
Hey, no, you
saying
just.
we-
I know
It's
I
a
just
good
met
idea.
you,
I'm
but
not saying we ask. I'm saying we do it.
Okay, that's worse. They're gonna immediately call the guards for us trying to kill him.
just go around not asking for permission, just cutting people left and right. That's the new
Archie,
admission to
give me
get in the.
5. I'm wearing like a slapstick glove with a fucking razor blade on the inside. Oh, you didn't bleed. Punch, punch, punch. Best case scenario, we get into combat with just him as a doppelganger. Worst case scenario, we get into combat with him as a doppelganger with 2,000 town
Well,
guards
here's-
that are also doppelgangers.
Here's the thing, right? Karma's put a time limit on us because the carnival leaves today, apparently.
I thought they were going to be here all month, to be fair.
Well, they probably were, but now we're on to them.
Yeah, so
I say we find the Round Man.
Carnival.
I
Let's-
say we find the
not
Round
find
Man.
the round man and his wife. Anybody cool with taking hostages?
I literally tied a guy up yesterday.
Weird. It's almost like one of the things that you came here to investigate is now one of your fucking plans.
Okay, Karma. I'm about to ask this actually. Did we level up?
No, you guys leveled up last game.
Yeah, but we didn't kill 2 aliens last game.
Roll for persuasion.
Oh,
Legitimately,
No
100%.
way.
If you get a 15 or higher, I will let you guys level up.
Does that include modifier?
Yes,
Okay, 15 or higher.
15 or higher.
what's your modifier?
Okay, can I cast guidance on myself?
No, it's too late for that.
Oh
Can I
no!
cast bless on
It's
myself?
too late for that. You should have done it before you rolled.
13.
Ah, so close.
Oh, I could have got.
And I get bardic inspiration. Come on, Karma, come on.
Nika just starts walking towards the carnival. Fuck
Yeah, you know,
Let's go to the carnival.
I'm going.
Let's
with
go to the carnival.
What are we doing with? Wait, but what are we doing with Tasha?
Hold on.
Tasha's hanging out.
First off, all of y'all are metagaming because I haven't told a single one of you that the carnival is leaving, and it was based on sight.
I'm not
Yeah, you guys-
saying that in character.
Good
I'm
point.
saying that as a player. Like, we need to make a decision because we
Yeah,
are
in
now
all
on the
fairness-
time limit.
In all fairness, she's the Trixie isn't sure at all if they're leaving or not. She just saw that they were packing up for whatever reason.
Okay.
And I don't know anything
that
about
sounds
your
like a common knowledge about
investigation.
We
So,
have no reason to believe the carnival's leaving, other than the fact that we know 100% that they're leaving. So,
You don't know if they're leaving.
Should we pick
Y'all,
up the
I
jet?
told you that they were packing up, and for whatever reason, y'all took that as they're fucking leaving right now for some reason.
I just
No
I'm
investigation. No.
they said they were going to be up live today. Now you're telling us they're packing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like they know that we're onto them.
Well,
Yeah.
on those beautiful questions, I think that's where we're gonna have to end and pick this up next week.
yeah.
Okay.
I nearly cried this session. I want you to be aware.
Cried
of
this
that,
Good.
Carla.
I'm glad. That was a lot of fun.
It was a very touching moment when you cut me open like a fish.
I mean, that was all your guys' fault. I had nothing to do with that. But
I was going to say before anybody touches it, and then you say, I'm going to go pick it up.
yep, you shouldn't have picked it up.
In all
I'm
fairness,
about to stop him, and then you said the next part.
In all fairness, as a cat that has no idea what's going on, I feel like I've done damn good to not get involved in y'all's shit.
I think so too. But while we are ending here, guys, I want to thank all of you guys for coming to watch and hang out with us as we unveil this story, no matter how ridiculous it's been getting lately. I feel like we've had a lot of fun. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of a blast it's been. I thank you guys for coming to play with me, no matter how much you hate me for how this went. Mind you, it's entirely your own fault. I had nothing to do with it. You guys wrote it yourself. But I love you guys very much. And don't worry, Chick, I'm gonna have it on YouTube and on Spotify hopefully by tomorrow, if not by the end of the week. But the VOD will be up after this if you want to watch it again. But I love you guys, and I love you viewers, and I hope we get to continue doing this for quite some time. Do you guys have any final words for our viewers?
I do.
You should have told me to bring tissues.
Yes,
Becky?
Dyer. What you got?
So, what is your verdict on that nat 20 you rolled on deciding how the campaign would go?
So it's the fact that that natural 20 is the only reason why I decided to heal Kazim. 100%. I was gonna let Kazim die if that didn't get that natural 20.
Take back the fuck you.
Yeah, it's the only reason I was gonna make you do death saving throws and everything, man, but nah.
Good.